What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel with me, Free Tip Scout, for Deadline Day. We love Deadline Day, don't we, on Friday? I don't, but it's Deadline Day, and we have some lineups that we need to get sorted for the weekend in Sorare. We also probably need to spend some time on Ultimate Champions as well, so we can try and figure out like where certain players need to go, and just to try and maximize our chances to do well on Ultimate Champions. And even though we can't really do anything else on Pooky, we will also just run through our predictions that we're going to be entering in for the weekend on Pooky. Was it 15 minutes ago? So there you go. We can't do Ultimate Champions. Wow. This is the thing with Ultimate Champions. Their deadline changes every week. You don't really know when it is. And I just assumed that it was going to be like in an hour or 2 hours time. But yeah, Twitch Gaming says it was 15 minutes ago. So there you go. I have already put a team for it out, and I've done my tournament. So it's okay. We probably would have wanted to have gone back through it and just double checked everything. And maybe we would have made a couple of switches or changes. But it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Yeah, it's annoying because I'd almost like the deadlines to be, fixed on Ultimate Champions, but I guess you could call them dynamic or annoying. But yeah, they've done it. So yeah, I was always doing my temporary alliance for the following week as soon as the game week started. Yeah, funny enough, I never really tend to do that on Ultimate Champions, but this week I did do it because, as you guys know, I'm starting to get more into it, and I want to try and cover Ultimate Champions more on the channel. So when the last game week ended, I immediately started to put out like a decent lineup. So I'm pretty happy and glad that I've done that. Where's FPL Thinker? I want to congrats him for the win on UC this week. Oh, did he win? Okay, so I'm sure we will see FBL Thinker. He usually drops in. When he does, guys, let me know, because I want to say, I want to say congratulations to him as well, if he did win it. Hello also to Micah Pompey. How you doing, man? Hello to you, buddy. And then Twitch Gaming, yeah, it's tied to the games in Romania and stuff. Some of them are early. Sometimes that's the problem, yeah. A little bit annoying. It's annoying because you almost would wish that they just have a time that is always the same time every week, and then whatever games fall before that are in the previous game week, and then whatever games fall after that are, of course, in that game week. So rather than the deadline kind of shifting all the time, but maybe they will. Maybe in the future they'll look to stick to like a fixed deadline. But yeah, that's probably the one thing to keep in mind. If you're playing Ultimate Champions, or if you want to start playing it, you have to be every week like aware of when the deadline is. Because it's not like on Sorare where we know that in 2 hours and 40 minutes time, the next game week starts. And we know that every week it's always at 3 p.m. UK time on Friday. And it's at, on Tuesday? It's the same on Tuesday, isn't it? 3 p.m. UK time on Tuesday. So it's just nice to know that. But on UC, it's different every week. So been proper ill all week. Oh no. So Mike's been suffering. Sorry to hear you've been suffering, man. What's the problem? Is it like just man flu? We had a couple of other people in the chat this week that were also feeling a bit crap. I think Beast, you were telling us, weren't you, that you were? Yeah, there you go. Look. Beast has been suffering too. He says he's kind of had like this strong cold or man flu this week. So yes, it's like probably a lot of it's to do with the weather changing as well. It's that time of the year, isn't it, where the seasons start to change a bit. But sorry to hear that, man. And hopefully, Mike, you can at least have a good weekend on Sorare that will completely make you feel so much better in one go. Twitch Gaming's just suffering because he's a Dortmund fan. But you've got to be positive about this weekend. I know you're playing away, but surely, are you playing away? I think you are playing away, right? You've got to be positive, surely, this weekend, Twitch Gaming, though. And it's man flu that led to severe sinusitis. Wow. Oh, sorry to hear that. Everyone can sympathise with you in the chat because we've all been there. We've all had it. It's horrible. And it's if there's any women in here, then yeah, man flu is no joke. It's different. It's not the same. It's it hits you harder. Hello also to RSK Returns. Yes, guys, do you remember a few of you asked this week, where's RSK Returns and what's happened to him and that? And he's in the chat right now. We get the pleasure of seeing RSK Returns in here. So hello to you, RSK. Thank you so much for jumping back in again, man. Really good to hear from you as well. Hope everything's good and getting good now. RSK has returned, yeah. We were thinking about sending some kind of a search party out on Twitter to find out where he had gone. We haven't seen you. It feels like months we've not seen you. But yeah, it's so nice to see you back in, man. So welcome back. And yeah, I hope that things are going to be going good for you this year, man, over the next couple of months. You are not good away, and it's Union Berlin. Yeah, you're not. I mean, Union Berlin are improved a little bit as well, aren't they? So you put 2-1 Berlin on Pooky. Wow. That must feel really horrible to back against your club in that fixture. But the positive is that, of course, if they win, then it's win-win for you, isn't it? Because then you're going to be happy. Are you going to the game at all, Switch Gaming? Do you go to the away games for Dortmund, or do you just go to the home games? Because it's just probably a little bit easier for you where you live. Beast194. Oh my God, it's all going on here. Wow, I do need to say thank you to everyone. Wow. Amazing. We actually have a hype train as well. There you go. It's been a while since we've seen Darth Vader on the chat. There he is doing his stuff. Love it. So thank you so much, guys, to RSK Returns, who's gifted a sub out, to Nico. Thank you so much, man. What a return from you. Really appreciate it. Also, big thank you to GBR21 for the Prime and the 12 months. That's honestly, it's just amazing, the support. Like, I never take it for granted, guys, honestly. The fact that you guys support me for so long and you obviously enjoy being here. So thank you so much. GBR also says, 1 year on this fantastic channel. I haven't been here much, but I always support you whenever I can. Honestly, GBR21. Seriously, man, thank you so much, because without people like you, this channel just wouldn't be possible. It wouldn't be possible for me to do this content on such a regular basis. So thank you. Big thank you. And also a big thank you to Big Merc 14 for the Prime as well and the 6 months of support. Amazing support, guys. Absolutely amazing. I like away games too, but it would be an 8-hour drive, and I'll be at the cinema tomorrow watching June 2. Right, here's a here's a little admission here from me. I haven't watched the first June. In fact, you know what? This is the proper admission. Not only have I not watched the remade June 1, right? I haven't even watched any of the Junes. I haven't watched the first original June. I haven't watched any of the spin-off Junes or anything. How nuts is that? I have tried to watch the remade June. I actually tried to watch it a few weeks back, and it's a long film, right? It's a big film. And so I started to sit down, and I think I watched like 10, 15 minutes of it, and I just wasn't feeling it. I am going to go back and I'm going to watch it. I wasn't probably in the mood to watch like a big long film like that. So then I actually, a few weeks back, I thought, I've got loads of time, because, this has only really just come out. And then, of course, I hear recently that June 2's coming out in the cinema, or it is out in the cinema. And I was like, Jesus, like, am I that slow to watch June? Incredible. My Sorare Data membership ended today, and I don't know if I should renew. When I bought 1 year ago, it was 50. I bought it a year ago, it was 50. God, when I bought it a year ago, how much was it for me? I thought it was 100 when I bought it a year ago. I didn't think it changed at all. Maybe it has. I might just always assumed it was 100. Yeah, I thought it was 100 too. Now it's 100 euros apparently, Nico. I just always remember paying 100, man. Maybe I'm wrong there, but I've just always assumed it's 100. I've always paid it for the year. And, it was the middle membership. Ah, okay. So you had the middle membership and now, of course, that's removed. So yeah, that's removed. So now you have to pay the high one. Okay. And you don't know whether you should renew. Well, I gotta be honest with you. Even though I have the Sorare Data Pro membership, because, we do content and I think it's really useful for the purposes of doing the content and showing you guys that we have access to all areas, right? But I've got to be honest with you, if I wasn't running this channel, if I wasn't doing content, now that I've seen the Pro, I think I would still pay for the Pro. I really do enjoy it. I think there's a lot of value in it. And I think that personally for me, I've been able to win enough money from the use of Pro that justifies that as an investment. So I would recommend it still, to be honest with you. Also, where are we at here? I'm just trying to look at something here. I think I've missed something. Here we go. That's what I wanted to go back to. Sorry. I saw something in the chat, but I didn't have a chance to respond to it. B says he got offered a ticket for Freiburg versus Bayern. Since he lives in Freiburg, easy for him to get to usually. He can't go because I really need to recover for my date tomorrow. For your date? What do you mean? Like, do you have a date tomorrow with a girl or something? you need to be need to be sharp for that. Why can't you take your date to the game? That would be cool. I don't know whether she'd enjoy it or not, but that would be cool. Like, it's not very often that, girls go on a date to a football stadium to watch a game. So it would be different in many ways. It could be an experience that she likes too. Because she's got plans today. Oh, okay. So are you really saying, Beast, that you're going to put a girl before football? and Twitch Gaming's picked up on that as well, yeah. Are you really saying that? Are you really saying that you have a ticket to go and watch Freiburg and you are going to dismiss that ticket and go on a date with a girl that could turn out good and it could be great? It could also be a date that just doesn't end up going anywhere. Sometimes they do. But you're going to put a girl before a football game? Wow, you're a brave man. That's not a good start. If you start doing that, it's going to be a long life for you. Ask her if she likes football. If she likes football, see if you can get her to the game. You don't think you're capable of going to football today? Oh, okay. What are you going to do, though? What are you going to do with the ticket? You're going to give it away? Mike says these German girls do some kinky shit, though. I have to say, it is true. It's true. Yeah, I'm kind of in my head. I've kind of secretly wanted to have, and I would love to have, a German wife at some point because they are pretty amazing. Yeah, gotta be honest. Why do you think I'm learning German? I'm learning German every day. Why do you think I'm putting the time in? Beast195, is she on for AAA form for the weekend? A friend offered you the ticket, so we'll give it to someone else. Okay, fine. So at least the ticket doesn't go to waste then. That's cool. Yeah, we don't want a ticket going to waste. FTS, keep away from Scandinavian women. They're crazy. I feel like you could probably say that about a lot of women, to be honest with you. I've only kind of I've had some experience with Scandinavian women, and they're great. Never had a Scandinavian girlfriend though. I don't know whether I don't know whether that's a step too far. It might be a step too far. I had a Hungarian girlfriend. I had a few of them, and that was definitely a step too far. Even though it was bloody fun, it was also a little bit too much. Big Merc 14, definitely it's looking very much like something that leads to something. Free Tip Scout, if it would be any other girl, I wouldn't put the priorities like I do. Well, fair enough then, right? It sounds like you like her, so put her first. And then you never know. There'll be other opportunities, won't there, to go and watch football. What was she hungry for? She was hungry for a lot of things. Too hungry. Too hungry, Mike. Yeah, too hungry. I couldn't keep up with everything. The craziness too. Guys, I have to say, before we start running through the lineups for Sorare, I have to say, we've been absolutely robbed. And yes, actually, hold on. Beast, yeah, I must say, good luck on your date as well, man. Please let us know whether you hit the back of the net in your date, whether it's a good one. But yeah, guys, we've been robbed. We've been robbed on Sorare this week. Really gutting. I'm going to show you how our midweek went. You guys know that we had some high hopes for the midweek. We were really trying to win a rare card. And we even bought a couple of players, like cheap players, where we thought that it could pay off for us, right, in the midweek. And look at what happened. Oh my God. We were 13.2 points away. Only 13.2 points away. We had 245 points, right, in Cap 220 Rare, which is not a lot. But Cap 220, that's really not a lot, right? At the moment, we're only what? We're like 25 points over the cap, but we were 13 points away from a tier 5, like a card ward. So it was a really low scoring game week, and we kind of expected that it wasn't going to be so high scoring, which is why I really wanted to try and go hard in the Cap 220, because I thought this was a great opportunity for us to hit a really high card ward without much points. Leonardo Morales DMP'd. He was expected to start. He always plays. He wasn't in the squad. And I have no idea, because I haven't had a chance to check it. I don't have an idea at all as to what happened. I don't know whether he was injured, whether he was ill, whether he was just left out of the squad because there was some kind of an argument, or they just don't like his form at the moment. I don't know. So if anybody knows what happened to Leonardo Morales, can you let me know in the chat? Maybe he had a date, yeah. Maybe he had a date. Maybe he thought he had a better chance of scoring higher, scoring better with his date rather than in Sorare. But he DMP'd, and it absolutely screwed us because we obviously got a really good score from Guzman, clean sheet. We put Andrew Farrell in. We actually bought him so he could help us for the midweek, and we paid about, I think it was like £4 or something really cheap for him. Maybe it wasn't £4. I think it was like £6. It was still really cheap. We brought him in and we thought he's got a really good fixture. He has a great chance to hit like a score of 60 and above. He hit 65, kept the clean sheet. So amazing. Pereira, who I bought for about £1.50, he's just great for these midweeks because he's just a baller. He's just so good. You know, he can hit these scores without any kind of decisive. So a nice score from him. And then Frank Bolly, I was talking about earlier in the week, saying that I was actually very happy with this score because Frank Bolly at the moment has not been starting for his new club in the Liga MX. And he did in this midweek. He got his first start. So he didn't do anything, but we were expecting to get a score of like 25 from him. So we got 35. He had an L15 of like 29 or something, 28. So this was actually pretty good from him, but it was all for nothing. This is the problem. All of this effort, all of this good planning and this good scouting and kind of all of these players doing really well was all for nothing. All for nothing in the end. And it's such a missed opportunity because not only would we have won a card, but if you think about it, we're only 13 points away from a tier 5. Morales, if he'd have started, would have boosted us up really high. I think we could have got a tier 4 here. I think we could have got a tier 4 rare. If Morales had absolutely exploded, who knows? It could have even been a tier 3. So, yeah, it is what it is. It happens in Sorare. It's just really frustrating that it happened this midweek because I thought we'd done everything well. I thought we planned this well. We picked the right players and we picked them smart without spending a lot of money. And we just got kind of screwed here. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to take this really disappointing result and we're going to turn it into a positive because we're going to use this to motivate us to a card reward that we should have won in the midweek. We're going to use this now to win a card reward this weekend for sure. I'm so motivated now after missing out this week that we're going to give it a really good go this weekend. We had Morales, by the way, not only in rare cap 220, but we also had him in limited. And you can see that we missed out by 66.56 points as well for a tier 5. I'm not too fussed about missing out on the tier 5 there for obvious reasons. The fact that it's a 60p reward. If he'd have played and done really well, we might have actually been able to get a tier 4 because the tier 4 was about 88 points away. So yeah, it's a shame that the Morales DMP hurt us in 2 lineups because this was actually doing pretty well too. But you guys know that, you know, it really doesn't feel that bad if you miss out on a tier 5 because they're just not the type of cards that I really want at this stage of my journey on Sorare. But for sure, missing out on a tier 5, tier 4 rare is definitely the one that hurts a bit more because this is the scarcity at the moment that's much more important to us, the rare one. And even though we've got loads of rare cards now, we really don't need to buy anymore. The plan is to just try and win rare cards now so that it will just keep growing our gallery naturally, like organically, without us having to put money into the game to grow it. So, yeah, a shame. But that's me. That's me. We don't get anything for the midweek. I would love to hear, though, how you guys have got on in the midweek. Did you also suffer a really disappointing, really out-of-the-blue DMP that cost you? Did you have an amazing midweek where you're getting your first ever card awards or you're getting threshold, for example? Let me know now in the chat, please, guys, because I do want to hear how everybody got on. Quote, Leonardo Morales will not start this afternoon and will be left off the bench due to muscle overload. Thank you, Graham. Thank you so much for finding that out for me. Such a shame. Such a shame, man. But it happens, doesn't it? It happens. So of course I'm disappointed, but I haven't done anything wrong. And if we just keep doing what we're doing here, then we're going to get card awards and we are going to get one this weekend. I'm determined, guys. So you're hearing it from me. I'm determined that we get something now this weekend to make up for it. Hey, FTS. Hello to Steven. How are things? Are your lineups all ready for the weekend? Finally entering my first rare lineup, says Steven. Now, you know that we have to know now what is your first rare lineup. So do tell us what your team is for this weekend, your first ever foray into rare. Please let us know what the team is, man. And good luck to you, Steven. Where are you also entering your first rare lineup? I'm assuming 240 to try and get the threshold, right? That's what I'm assuming. But let us know where you're going into. Go take a look at Champion America Limited FTS. What? Your Champion America Limited team? RSK. We will have a look. It's Funda, isn't it? RSK Funda. There we go. Even though RSK's not been here for a while, I still remember his name. Let's have a quick look here. Oh no, stop that. Stop that now. Stop it. Wow. You have timed your return so well, haven't you, RSK? Oh my God, we have not seen RSK in months, and the man makes a grand return to the channel. He has won Champ America Limited. He's won it. And he's won it with no other than the GOAT, Steve Clark. He's won it with Clark. That's incredible. Oh my God, look at this team. I can't believe that this team has won it. This is so cool. Because this is a team that, to be honest with you, he's probably not the sort of players that you would expect to win a Champ America. Junior Santos, look at that. I was watching this last night. I was not watching the game, but I was like watching, like tracking it live in a live score app. And Junior Santos, I was so annoyed for me personally that he was scoring all those goals because I was so close to buying Junior Santos as my America rare forward this season, and I didn't do it. He was really cheap at one point, and I opted not to do it. And then I'm seeing him doing this. I'm like, oh, no. But how amazing is this, guys? Mackenzie Gaines, Junior Santos, Annabelle Godoy, Damian Suarez, and Steve Clark. 443 wins Champion America in the midweek. He's going to get a star and £162. I love this. I absolutely love this. This is so not the type of team that I would have expected to win a competition in Sorare, but this is why Sorare is so good, because these almost like a misfit. There's no stack really going on here apart from Botafogo. Well, there is actually Botafogo and Nashville, but it's not really a team that I would have expected to do well. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Yeah, like the team's probably really cheap as well, isn't it? Mike says gallery value of £20. This team in itself is probably... How much did the team cost you, RSK? You paid €25 for that lineup. A €25 lineup with his first ever podium. It's incredible. Look, he's only got 5 limited cards. These are the 5. He's got 5 limited cards, and these are the 5 that won. It's so insane, man. So honestly, RSK, I'm delighted for you. I'm so delighted for you. And I love it as well that you've won with the GOAT, Steve Clark. The goalkeeper that we probably spoke about more times than we should have. And you guys have probably been sick to death last year of hearing of Steve Clark. But what an amazing achievement this is. I can't wait to see what you get. What are you expecting to get? Like, what would you like to get, RSK? So, have you looked at the prize pool? And if you have looked at the prize pool, what is the player that you would love to win from this here? And what are you planning on doing with the cash reward as well of 162? Are you going to cash it out? You're going to use it to buy some players and buy a new team? Like, what are you planning on doing? Is this the first place or even podium from the FTS community? No, we've had a few before. We have had a few before. Yeah, we've had a few. It's not the first one. It's actually quite good. We're getting a load of guys in the community that are getting first place. It's brilliant to see. Love to see it. Bro, I went to bed and woke up to first place. I was so amazed. Sadly, the best card I can get is that Brazilian youngster. And is it Endrick, you mean? Definitely going to take that money and run. Let's have a quick look, actually, at the prize pool. Let's have a look to see what he could potentially win. So, game week 454. Champion America, there he is in all his glory. RSK returns. You're famous, man. You're there. Your name is there for all to see. Let's dive into it. Okay, there he is. Incredible. Look, he absolutely smashed it. Look at second place. Second place got 409. No one was even close to him. A clear winner with 443. It's unbelievable. It's so good. What was the second place team? Look at that. Santos as well. Acosta, Nilsson. Okay. And then Moyle, Acosta, Schaffelberg. This is such an amazing team that you put together because I really think that it's so underdog, you know? It's so budget, this team. I would love to win a competition in Sorare with one of my kind of budget teams like this. So this is why I love it more, is that there's not really like super big heavy hitting names in here, right? There's not really star names in here. It's just very well thought out and it's a smart build. It's brilliant. Let's look at the prize pool here. Okay, so the prize pool is very small. So So there's only 4 star players, which I actually think is probably good for him because then it increases his odds of getting somebody like an Endrick. I think Endrick is the clear best player to win here. I hope you get Endrick. I really do hope you get Endrick. This guy's okay. He's actually pretty good. So is Barco. I mean, all these guys are good, but how much is Endrick? Let's have a quick look. I haven't looked at him in a while, but I know that when his first mints were in the game, he was... Oh, really? He's only 50 odd quid. Wow. I actually thought that he might be a lot more than that. Did he take a bit of a hit? Because, no, he didn't. Wow. I mean, you have to say, usually for like a star that you can win, you'd usually expect to win a star that's worth a lot more than that. As a player, though, this would be an incredible player for him to win, especially given the fact that he's moving to Real Madrid in the summer. He's only 17 as well. Like, he's one of those players that has just got so much use in the game. Like, he's going to be, he's part of the international team for Brazil already. When he moves to Real Madrid, he's then going to be playing midweek as well. He's got this under-23 utility forever. And he's the next wonder kid, right? He's the next wonder kid to come out of Brazil. So I hope that you get him. I really hope that you get him. And thank you so much as well to Micah Pompey for the sub, man. Really appreciate it a lot. So this is the one you want, isn't it? Not Twitch Gaming, RSK Returns. This is the player that you want the most, Endrick. How much is Armani? Let's have a look at him. 23 pounds. Okay. Really don't want to have him. Yeah, Barco's good. Barco is good. I feel like if I was in RSK Returns position, I would want to win Endrick first, then Barco second, then Echeverri third, and then Armani last, or Armani, however you want to say it. That's the order that I would want. That's my preference if I was in his position. But for sure, I want to be winning Endrick. Oh, I can't wait to see what you get, honestly. So please let us know. Yeah, please let us know. I mean, I smashed it so much, I have to get Endrick. I mean, I'd like to think that you would get Endrick there. So I'm going to be crossing my fingers for you that you can get him. Please let us know tonight. So we won't have a stream tonight, but just drop me a message or tag me in a Twitter post or whatever, what you get, and I will then share it with the rest of the community. So yeah, fingers crossed, man, for you. Big time. And once again, RSK, incredible achievement, man. So really, really well done. And especially well done the fact that you've only got these are the 5 cards that you have in your gallery. These are the only 5. And he's ended up winning with the only 5 that he's got. It's a brilliant story. Absolutely brilliant. So, hello to Jordan as well. How you doing, man? Am I going to take any risk for your Cap 240 team's free tip scout this game week? Well, maybe. That's what we're going to do right now. We're going to start digging into my lineups because not only do I want to share the lineups that I'm going to be putting out with you guys, but we can also discuss them, and I might want to make some changes to them as well. Seren knew I was giving up, so they blessed me. Definitely. All right. So let's dive into the game week now, the upcoming game week 455 in the pro game mode. As we've got Jordan that's just jumped in, I think it's probably a good time for us to start with my Luton Town lineups for the Premier League in season. Now, I'm a little bit worried this weekend about my Premier League in season because initially I put Oso in here because we usually run with Oso as the defender. But Oso's not been performing that good. And so then I decided to take him out, and we're taking a bit of a risk by putting in Reece Burke here. Now, Jordan, because Jordan's in the chat, and if you don't know, Jordan is the Luton Town expert on Play Sharper. I want to ask Jordan directly, do we really feel that Reece Burke is going to be given a proper run? Because they have to manage him, right? Because he doesn't really, if he plays too much, he gets injured, and we know that. He hasn't really been playing enough. Do we really feel like he's going to start this game? Because I think Luton have got quite a few injuries piling up, haven't they? I think even Amari Bell is a doubt for the game, no? Oso is a doubt as well, so probably best. So look at that. There just seems to be so many injuries for Luton. Yeah, so the guys that are out, we'll bring it up as well. We'll bring up, what is this here? Browse the games day by day. Okay, fine. We'll bring up his prediction. So England Premier League, and then we go to Luton Aston Villa. Yeah, Bell's out, and then Oso is potentially out. Lagonga's out too. Adebayo's out. There's just a few players that are out. Their injuries are piling up. So this is basically the lineup that Jordan's put together. Are you going to be updating it later on today, Jordan, at all, or not? Is this pretty much the final? You will when the press conference comes out. Okay. So what we'll do. Thank you, Jordan, as well, man. Thank you for everything you do, actually, with these projections, because you put them out early too, and you put a lot of time and effort into them. What we'll do is we'll come back in a few hours and we'll see whether Jordan's learned anything from the press conference and whether it's going to change his opinion of who starts and who doesn't. I like that he's put Oso at 55%. This is quite nice to see Reece Burke in here. I do actually like Reece Burke, and when he starts, he does very well. But the problem for him this season is that he's just not really started enough, largely because of fitness issues, how he's very injury prone. We don't have Mengi because his card has still not been minted in the game. We don't have Ross Barkley, and yeah, he's not been minted either. Which, you know, if you're a Luton Town collector like me and Jordan, it's a bit of a sore subject that we still don't have Ross Barkley to pick. The season's going to be over by the time we can pick Ross Barkley. It's going to be really piss poor. But anyways, so Chong, Morris, Woodrow, Doughty, Ogben, Kaminsky, and Clark. And you guys who were on the stream from yesterday will know that I was talking about Clark, saying that he's just such a good option at the moment because his L15's 27 and he hit those 2 really good goals against Man City. So he must be in like supreme confidence, and of course he's going to start. So we are going to be playing Jordan Clark, but we're going to be playing him in Cap 220 because of the fact that he's just got that really low L15, which is perfect for that game mode. Here we go. He's arrived in the chat. FBL Thinker. We've been waiting for you, man. Hello to FBL Thinker. Twitch Gaming mentioned that you won UC, but you said that you finished second in the league in UC in the last game week. Wow. Isn't this amazing? This is so amazing. So we've just been celebrating the RSK Returns has won. Here you go. In case you've probably missed it, haven't you, FBO, because you just jumped in. But RSK Returns, we've not seen in the channel for a while. He's returned today, true to his name, and we're just celebrating that he's just won Champ America with this team of all teams as well. And you've just jumped in to say that you've finished second in Ultimate Champions, which is incredible. You might as well bring that up too. Also, thank you to Fettel for the follow. Welcome into the channel, man. All right. Let's dive in. Oh, we've got some rewards to open as well, so we'll do that in a second. Let's go and have a look at the past game week. Oh. Yeah, game week 153. Okay, and then if we go and have a look at the global rank, there you can see this is FBL Thinker, who finished second with 2,008 points, which is actually not that high, but for a midweek, that's very, very good. Because that's how you're meant to do it, aren't you? In the midweek, if you can go hard on the midweeks where there aren't many games being played, there aren't the top players that are playing, and you're just very smart with the teams you can put out, you can usually finish way higher than you can on a main weekend game week, and that's exactly what FPL Think has done. Let's have a quick look at his team. Oh, look at that. You know what? You know what as well? This is really good. This is so good because I actually have the majority of these players here. I really do, but I didn't play them. An FBL Thinker did play them, so incredible. There's a few that I don't have. I don't have this guy. I don't have this guy either. And I don't have this guy, but other than that, I have everybody else that he's picked, and it's a really good team. Really good team. The top scorer that he had was this guy here, Coman, from the looks of it. And then, of course, Frankie Kent, who's a legend in the game, is still hitting a big, big score too. Got to head out, but we'll update the lineup. Thank you so much, Jordan. We'll look out for your prediction, your lineup predictions later on, man. What card did you get? He says he got a meh card, though. At the end of the day, it's still a free-to-play reward, right? So it doesn't really matter. It does matter, but it doesn't really matter. You've won the card for free, which is the main thing. What did you get? He said he got Owen Bailey. Okay. Owen Bailey. Let's have a quick look at him. We might as well open our rewards as well in a second, now that we're on UC. And then we will jump back to Sorare. And we will... That's decent. Owen Bailey's decent, man. What are you complaining about here? Owen Bailey is a free-to-play reward. He's currently on the market for $40, and his last sale about 3 weeks ago was for just shy of $30. He's 25. He's playing for Doncaster, and I'm not really a big fan of Doncaster because this season they've been doing poor. But he's actually been doing quite well. Look at his scoring. It's an incredible reward. I can't believe you said you got a meh card. That's a great card to win. What are you on about? That's a great card to win. As a free-to-play reward, I'd be well over the moon with that. I'd be so over the moon with that. So, well done, man. What are you planning on doing with him? Are you going to keep him or are you going to sell him? I was expecting Grimaldo to come home. That would have been epic, wouldn't it? That would have been a real epic reward. Did you do any UC explanation at some point? I can rewatch. Not really. I'm probably going to do, because I'm now going to start doing some YouTube videos. I am going to do almost like a bit of a UC tutorial kind of walkthrough that I'll record and I'll get up on YouTube soon. We might also do a little kind of stream dedicated to it too. But yeah, I haven't done anything at the moment, Beast. Free tip scout, by the way, I decided against Torres for now for the MLS and went with Paul Arriola. Got him for €2. You got Paul Arriola for €2. That's insane. Paul Arriola should not be €2, really. So I don't blame you. I would have done the same. €2 is too good to ignore for Paul Arriola. You expect him to be way better this season with Peter Musa now and Ferreira being able to drop deeper to the number 10 role. I think that you're right. And I also think that Dallas are going to be really exciting to watch this season because they're going to have the likes of, Arriola, Musa, Ferreira, Velasco, right, as well. Alan Velasco. Very cool team, attacking team. Very cool. So, congratulations to you as well, FBL Thinker, for winning, or at least winning a card if you didn't win because you came second, but second place is still fantastic. So, well done, man. This is how we done in that game week, but yeah, so you can see that we played a few. Hold on a minute, go back. Game week 153, sorry. yeah, you can see that we ended up getting, I don't know how many points we got. It doesn't show us here, but we'll dive into the rewards and it will tell us then. We had a DNP player, but then he was substituted out for Ekpateta. And then, look at this score from Stephen Fletcher. I thought Stephen Fletcher would probably do okay there. He got a score of 18. I think I don't know what happened there. He had a shocker. We would have been better off playing Adam Nemec. But yeah, look, you can see we had a couple of players also the same as what FBL Thinker had, like Coman, Soot, Frankie Kent, but he just put a way better team together than what we done. So anyways, we've got some rewards to open. Okay, in the leagues, we actually ended up getting 1,564 points, and that gave us a 259th finish. We get 2 common cards and 75 MGC, 300 here for finishing 57th in the under-23 tournament, and then 25 for the Superliga and 50 for the Tier 2 UC International. The tournament, we always autofill, so the fact we're getting 300 MGC from the under-23 will absolutely take that, because I can't even remember the team that I put out for it. We just auto-filled it and then just forgot about it. So we're going to take that. Let's open them. Or let's at least claim them. Thank you, Twitch Gaming. Okay, let's take that as well. Cool. We're saving up our MGC at the moment. I am slightly tempted to spend it. So we might just consider spending it today, but I don't know. Yeah, like we've been saving up so we could get a pack. I'm debating whether we spend it today or whether we just keep saving it and then maybe we wait until the new season of the Elite Syrian, because I think when the new Elite Syrian starts, they'll release new packs, right? Where you can then win the new season cards in those packs. So that's what I'm kind of thinking we might do. Okay, the commons that we got were Nikola Jurisic, who actually looks like he's got pretty good scoring. Okay, that's pretty good. And then Connor Ripley, who we already have. We've actually got him as an epic, but now we've got him as a common. I think we have him as a common as well. So it could be a duplicate there. So cool, okay. And now we have 3,779 MGC. That's equivalent to about $37. We can't cash the MGC out. You can only use it in the game. We can cash the Una out, but at the moment we can't because it's a new token in the game. So in the future, we'll be able to cash out the Una. The MGC... What do you reckon, guys? Do we save it or do we spend it today? Can't spend it in here. Well, we can, but we can't spend it on these guys because these guys we need to spend Una. But what do you reckon we should do with the MGC? Do we keep saving it up so that maybe we spend it when the Elite Syrian releases, or do we spend it today on some packs that we could buy? We could buy a ton of jumbo packs if we wanted to. We could also buy the Silver Pack Under 23 Underdogs. We could buy the Silver Pack Winter Leagues one too. We could if we wanted to. If it will take us there. What's happened? We could also... We could buy this one. The Silver Pack UC International. Which has the Premier League, Championship, League 1, League 2, French League 1, French League 2, Bundesliga, Spanish Liga, and the Scottish Premiership in it. And we could look at the athlete list as well. But we would be guaranteed to get either an epic or a mythic. And it could be a player from La Liga. It could be a Premier League player as well. Nobody's got anything to say in the chat. I'm genuinely asking the chat here. Like, should we sell? Should we save up still, or should we spend? What do you think we should do? I'm genuinely asking because I'm either or, right? So I'm hoping that the chat can tip me one way or the other. We can't afford these ones, but on this page here, we can afford, as I say, this one, but I don't think we would do that one. This one's actually quite attractive. And then the Elite Syrian we can do too. We can't afford a gold pack, and it would take us a while still to be able to afford a gold pack because we would need, I think the lowest is this one here, no? $50. And technically we've only got about $37. So look for the silver Elite Syrian. Well, we were thinking about doing that one here. Yeah, this was the one that we were actually saving up for originally. I think the problem that I have slightly with the Elite Syrian is that in the Elite Syrian FBL, there's really only a few players that I would love to get. So we looked at the athlete list, and I obviously want to try and get a load of Bodo players if I can. But there's a load of crap in there as well. So the Elite Syrian has like a load of shitty players in there. And I just have a feeling that we would kind of almost spend a lot to get a shitty type player. Whereas maybe here, we could still get a shitty type player, but I think that the leagues, because this is targeting the better leagues, right? Then I think we've got a better chance of pulling something good from it. Because when we looked at the, let's do it. Let's just bring it up. When we looked at the athlete list for this one, okay, right. And when we sorted by the tier, let's do that the other way, actually. Okay, so underdog we don't care about, and there's a lot of underdog players in here. And then when we look at the star and the star regulars, right? These are good. There's a lot of players from Bodo. So these are good, but then look at the regulars in here. I'm not a big fan of these regulars in here. Like, not really. And then look, there's just like a load of crap in here as well. I think the UC International one is the one we should probably go for, no? I mean, in a way, this would be great. Because we would then be able to pick up a player that would have like a season just about to start. But if we get somebody like, we looked at the values of some of these players, and some of them are like $5 or whatnot. Like a lot of them are like really low. So we'd end up spending effectively $37, $38 to then get like a $5 card, most likely, or like a $10 card. And that could also be the same in the UC International, but let's have a quick look at the UC International, the prize pool for it. Let's do it. So Silver Pack UC International. And if we look at the athlete list here, I mean, look at that. Wow. Already we've got the potential. Look, there's Owen Bailey, by the way. So, like FBL Thinker was saying, he got a meh card. Freaking Owen Bailey is a star. He's a star and a regular on here. So that's why I was like, that guy's an incredible pull. Owen Bailey. I'd be delighted to pick up an Owen Bailey. Got Luke Thomas in here as well. I like Luke Thomas, actually. Joel Newell's in here. It's an interesting one. Harrison Burrows would be good. Martinelli, Lamine Yamal would be insane. But even the regulars in here are pretty good, you know? Like Hincapie's in here, look. Where's he gone? Like Hincapie's in here, Ben White's in here. Anthony Evans, I think, is pretty good too. Frimpong's a regular. Jao Cancelo's in here. I mean, this is so much better, isn't it? I think. Sure, there's a, like, you don't have any. Look at the underdogs you've got in this pack. When we compare the underdog, the percentage or the proportion of underdogs in the Elite Syrian pack, it's like you have a very high chance to pick up an underdog. Whereas here, even these regulars are going to be pretty good. Look, Kunde's in here as a regular. Jonas Wind, who we just actually bought, is in here. I think we're going to do this pack. Yeah, I think we're going to open it now. We're going to do it. We've been saving up enough. I think we're just going to go and buy it now. So, guys, are you ready for this? We're going to open a silver pack UC International for $37.49. We have saved up for a good couple of weeks now our MGC coins, which you can earn just from playing for free. And again, I haven't probably given you the link. So if you want to get involved, here is the link to get involved in Ultimate Champions. Let's do it. Let's do it, guys, okay? Let's get this going. So, buy now. I'm nervous here. I'm nervous. Submit the order. There's no going back. Can you imagine if we got a mythic? Oh, God, that would be insane. We've only got a 5% chance to get a mythic, so the odds are firmly against us, but how sick would that be if we now just pulled a mythic? Right, here we go. Are you guys ready for this here? We're going to be opening a silver pack. We've committed to buy it, and hopefully we get like a really cool reward in here. We can get an athlete from any of these leagues here. So the Premier League, the Championship, League 1 and League 2, French League 1, French League 2, Bundesliga, La Liga, Premiership. Why is it so quiet in the chat? I thought we'd be really hyped up for this here. There's like nothing going on in the chat. Hello to Rude as well. How you doing, man? Okay. Let's do it. Let's get the drum rolling. Okay. Open that pack. We're going to hover over them. If it hovers purple, then it means we've got an epic. If it hovers orange, then it means we've got a mystic. I'm expecting it to hover purple. I don't know which one is going to hover purple. I'm assuming the first one. Okay, so that's the common that we get in this pack. Okay, so that's the common. And then it's a purple one. So we're getting an epic here, which is what we kind of expected because we have like a 95% chance. So we don't know what we've got, but we've got an epic. Let's open them. The common is Manolis Siopis. Okay. Cool. I don't have him. So he's welcome into the gallery. Right. This is the big one. I don't know what to expect, and I don't know what we're going to get. I hope we get somebody that has good value, and I hope we get somebody that is young and starting as well. I don't need a goalkeeper. We've got a couple already. We've got a forward now of Jonas Wind. If we get another forward, that'd be great. But also, I think we're a little bit shy on defender and a midfielder. So technically, I think position-wise, I could take anything. But I just want to try and get somebody that makes me feel like this was worth saving up for a few weeks, right? So, without any further ado, we had the drum roll. Let's have another drum roll. Here we go. Dylan Levitt of Hibs. I don't think that is a win. No. I don't think that's a win. He is young. He is young. He's 22. So that's fine. We have like a under 23 player. I wanted someone better than that. But let's have a little look. Where is Dylan? I'm sure that he's not a star or a regular. Let's have a little look for him. Dylan. Okay, Dylan. Okay, so oh wow, he's right at the bottom. He's right at the bottom. Oh my god. So in terms of the rating here, the performance index rating, we were hoping for someone right at the top. And we've got someone right at the bottom. We've got a guy who's fourth from bottom. Oh dear. What a disaster. What a disaster. Funny enough, look, the guy who was bottom was Manolis Siopis. It was the common that we got. Oh no. That didn't really feel like it was worthwhile. Although I'm happy that we've got like a youngster. I am. Look, he's 22, so that's okay. Let's bring up UC Helper. I don't know how much he's worth, and I don't really know how he's been scoring. Let's bring it up. Dylan Levitt. Oh, God. So his value is not that good. We effectively spent about $37, which we didn't put our money in, but we spent an equivalent of about $37 worth of MGC coins, the free-to-play coins, right? And we've won a card that is around $8 to $9, and he's 23. He's got some good scores from time to time. He's also got a lot of shocking scores, though, as well. Look, 44, 12, 49, 20. I mean, all these reds are really bad. Ugh. I'll probably hold on to him. We've got age on our side with him, haven't we? So, yeah, let's have a quick look at him. Let's have a quick look at his transfer marked as well. Yeah, he's okay. Like, he's probably better than what he looks, right? Obviously, I was just hoping we could get something a bit more than that. It's taking a long time to load his profile, isn't it? On Transfermarkt. There we go. Yeah, so previously of Man United, come through the academy, then spent some time at Charlton, then actually played at Istra for a little bit, played at Dundee too, and is now playing at Hibs. Not bad. We're going to keep hold of him. I did say, didn't I, that ideally I want someone who is a youngster that's playing regularly, and he's played 21 games so far this season, and he's a 23-year-old. So we take it. Where have we gone? Here we go. Yeah, we take it. So Dylan comes into the gallery here. And he probably just gives us another good option for our defenders, because, again, I was saying that for our epic cards here, we're a little bit shy on defenders, a little bit shy. So we have Garuti. This guy is no longer covered anymore. Neither is this guy. And then we have this guy who is covered, but he's just scoring not so good. So technically, we only really had one defender. Now with... you can't see him because the filter's a bit weird like that. But eventually we'll be able to start seeing him. But yeah. Oh, actually, he's a midfielder card. Oh, fair enough. Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, okay. He's a midfielder card. So I tell a lie. I mean, to be fair, we also didn't really have a lot of good midfielders. We just recently picked up Max Arnold, but then this guy was not covered. And we have Emil Smith-Rowe, who's kind of like more of a long-term hold as a midfielder, because he's obviously not starting at the moment. So, yeah, as a midfielder option, we've now got him. So it's okay. It's good. Okay. That's annoying. I can't use chat while on mobile data. I can't take UC seriously until they bring in my local league. Well, you mean Allsvenskan? I hope they bring in Allsvenskan. There's still no... I can't believe, and I've said it for a while now. I've literally said it for the last few years. I can't believe that the Allsvenskan is not on UC and it's also not on Sorare. Like the two main games in this area do not have the Allsvenskan. Maybe they're just not at the moment convinced that they want to pawn their league out to an NFT type game. Because I'm sure there must have been some discussions with either UC or Sorare with that league. So it's just very surprising that they're not covered at all right now. But yeah, I'm the same. I would love to see the Allsvenskan. I don't really care actually what game we see it on. I just do want to start seeing Allsvenskan players somewhere. Yeah. Yeah, Geisa Legend is a big Hibs fan, isn't he? Yeah. Geisa jumps on the chat from time to time on the stream. So, yeah, maybe I will have to talk to Geisa Legend and kind of say, you know, what do you reckon about Dylan? What do you reckon his chances are to keep improving, to do better next season as well? Is he going to stay? Is he going to go? He's got a long-term contract, hasn't he? Until 2026. So he's only realistically joined them look, in the summer. So I doubt he's on the move, but you never know. Okay, cool. Right. We've done all we can on UC, so we welcome Dylan into the gallery. Let's jump off this for a little bit because now we really do need to start getting a move on by lineup building for Sorare. So this is the team that I'm thinking we're going to enter for the Premier League in season with Reece Burke in defence, although that could change if Jordan hears something in the press conference today that Reece Burke is not going to play. But otherwise, I think we are going to play him. We usually have Alfie Doughty as the captain. But at the moment, Alfie Doughty's been a little bit underwhelming for scoring, whereas Ogben's been really consistent. And I don't often tend to captain a forward, especially a forward for Luton, right? But Ogben is an exception because he has an AA game that's so good that we can usually rely on him to score 20 points or more just in his AA alone. And then, of course, if he delivers some kind of a decisive, we know then that he's going to be delivering us a score of like 80, 90. So he's a good option for captaincy. I would like Doughty to do something this weekend. Let's bring him up as well. Doughty. The good thing with captaining Doughty is that he's got a knock as well, apparently. We might need to keep an eye on that. The good thing with Doughty is that he's on the set pieces for like corners and free kicks for Luton. So he always carries a decisive threat. But you can see that he was doing really well here. And then for like the last 5 games, he's just completely fallen off, which is why we've not been captaining him anymore. Whereas somebody like Ogben has actually just been one of the most consistent players for Luton, scoring-wise in Sorare this season. Look, in the starts that he's had, he's doing that. And then again, ignore this. We're going to focus on the starts that he's had. Then these are the starts again. So he's been very consistent at delivering scores of 50 and above. So he gets the captaincy again. What do you reckon, guys? This is a little bit of a difficult game for Luton at home against Aston Villa. Does anybody actually expect Luton to get a win here? Like, what do you guys reckon the score could be? Are Luton going to get hammered? Can they get some kind of a result here, like a draw? Can they win? I mean, they're very good at home, Luton, and they don't tend to get battered at home, right? They really don't. I hope that they can get something out of it. I'll be honest, though, I don't think that they never really keep a clean sheet. So we expect that Kaminsky will not get the decisive. So then we're going to be really relying on these guys to put in a big shift. Jordan does believe that they're going to win, though, of course. Have I heard about Meta Soccer? I have. I think they reached out to me before. and I wasn't too interested in it. I didn't like the look of that project at all. Yeah, I didn't really like the look of it. I'm pretty sure they did approach me last year to say would I be interested in covering the game, and I think I turned them down and said I don't think so, because I only want to cover things that I trust and that look trustworthy, that have good teams behind them. You know, I don't want to be covering shit, right? I don't want to be covering stuff that can make you guys either lose money or it's just a dodgy kind of project, right? I don't want to be doing that at all, because then that just reflects really badly on me. So I'm very selective with the games that I cover, and there may be some more games in the future that I cover, but they have to be like, there's a standard that they have to reach for me. And I just don't think that Meta Soccer reached that standard. Yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe it's changed a lot since I was last looking at it. But yeah, it just, at the time, I was like, nah, just, it looked like one of those rug pull type Web3 projects that didn't really have the legs in it to compete long term with something like Sorare or Ultimate Champions and whatnot. So I kind of gave it a miss. You rate Luton can do something. Find them very unpredictable. And Jordan's so confident he bought a rare Reece Burke. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Scuds. I'm never going to be one of those content creators that sells out and just starts covering shit, like actual shit. I'm never going to do that, because there's a standard of quality that I want to have on this stream, that on the channel and on the content I do, which I think is there. And I don't want to start eroding that quality and also the trust that you guys have in me, right? Because when you come on here and when we talk about things, you guys hopefully are trusting the things that we go through, right? I'm not talking about opinions. I'm talking about, if we cover a game that you trust that because we're covering it, it's a game that's worth your time and worth a look. And if we talk about players, it's a player that's often worth the time and worth you having a look at them, right? And I don't want to start just covering things just for the sake of it, and just, chasing a bag, when actually it's something that will just reflect really badly on me, and just, I don't believe in it. I need to believe in it. So yeah, I'm always going to be, you guys know I'm quite like that. Right. That's the in season. I don't think we change it for the moment. I think this is actually what we're going to do. So hopefully we can win something from here. There's a very good prize pool in the Premier League in season. I'm pretty sure we will not win first, second, or third in this fixture, but you never know. You never know. They could surprise us. So anyways, that's our team. We have a couple of other in-season teams, but they're just largely punty teams, really. They're very punty because we don't have another goalkeeper that's starting. Just thinking though, could we bring somebody in here just to give ourselves an outside chance of maybe sneaking like a low-end reward? What's going on with Issa Kabor? Jordan? Maybe he needs to come in here. I quite like the look of Chong this week. He's been solid last few games. He's really good at forcing the ball up the field. He has looked quite good. I don't really like Chong, but I have to agree with you that he's looked very good recently, yeah. Even though Issa Kabor's not been that good, and he hasn't, I agree, because they are so short on numbers at the back because of injuries, we probably need to put him in here. Even if he comes off the bench, he's going to get us points, right? At the moment, we had Amari Bell here, and Amari Bell, from the sounds of it, is out. Whereas at least Issa Kabor can come off the bench and contribute some points towards this team. So why don't we do that for the B team? And then again, we're not expecting anything here because we are playing with a DMP goalkeeper. But, you know, who knows? Maybe this team of 4 outfielders could score well enough that it at least sneaks us into, you know, like winning $2 or $4 or whatever it is, right? Let's confirm that. And then in our C team, which is a complete throwaway team, we can now put like Amari Bell in here. We put Potts in. Let's actually put Potts in. It's a complete throwaway, this team, isn't it? Let's leave it at that. Cool. Okay. Right. Next up, All-Star is quite an easy one for us to talk about. Yeah, you can see Potts getting minutes if Oso's out. This is quite an easy one for us to talk about because it's a full team stack of Tigres here. So we're going to go with Guzman, Angelo, Gorian, Carioca, and then Gignac. One of the difficulties with the Tigres stack is that there tends to be a little bit of rotation and uncertainty every game week as to who's going to start. They play different formations, and because they play a lot of games as well, and they're playing a lot of games over a short period of time, there is going to be a little bit of rotation. So we could get stung with a DNP somewhere here. I think this is the best team that I want to put out for it, but we'll quickly check it. If we can. There we go. Yeah, they have a lot of games, don't they, Rude? In a short space of time, too. Okay. So at the moment, the expert for this lineup, which is Atomic. Here we go. This was posted yesterday. Tigres played tonight, so we won't have any info from training ground before the deadline. They will now play on Sunday at Toluca away, and then they will fly to Orlando on Wednesday for the Champions League. Really tight calendar with important games. Dosification. Okay, will be needed at some point. Tigres won versus Juarez playing really bad. Gignac came off the bench and saved the result, but definitely not a good moment. Yeah, they didn't play that good. Kind of, as he said here, Gignac kind of bailed them out of an embarrassing draw. Linez will be suspended for yellows. I'm expecting Cordova to start because he looked very creative in the last minutes of the match. At the same time, Brunetta could be given some rest. Given Gignac and Cordova as most probable starters, there are 2 other attacking spots for 2 between Ozil, Herrera, Ibanez, Brunetta, and Flores, depending on the tactics. So this is the difficulty with this this collection. Is that it's not the type of collection where you can just play the same 5 every week and you don't have to think about it. You do have to check it and see what the experts are saying every week, because every week it can be very different. And so you can see that Angelo, 80%, Guzman at 90%. I do think that Gignac is going to start, given that he got kind of rested in the midweek and then he came off the bench and scored the winning goal. So I think that the manager's going to trust him now. They always trust him anyway. I think you have to start with Gignac so you can get the you can get the result that they need because they haven't been playing so good. And then usually what they do is they play with 2 like holding midfielders, okay? So they usually play with Gorian and Carioca. Now, they don't tend to score that great, but because they usually do play, that's why I'm going to be playing them as well, just to try and reduce our chance of a DNP here. And then we have Angelo as the captain because he's got a big score in him. He's a defender that can hit like 80, 90, 100 with his AA. He hasn't really done it at the moment, but he could do it in this game here. So we're going to hope that he can do it. The alternative would be to captain Gignac, but with Gignac, when you captain him, you're then saying that he's going to score 2 goals, right? Or get 2 decisives. And if he doesn't, you're just basically captaining someone that's going to score 60 points, right? So his upside is not as high as someone like Angelo, even if he does tend to decisive more regularly, or he tends to at least deliver scores of 60 points or more regularly than Angelo. So we're trying to target, by putting the captaincy on Angelo, we're trying to target a player that has a higher scoring ceiling, who can deliver like an 80, 90. And then if we captain that type of player, we're going to be laughing. So that's the theory with this team. I don't know how this team is rated in the lineup builder, so we might as well take a little look at that. We go into All-Star. Atomic is a boss, by the way. Yeah, I love that Atomic is putting, I have to say, I think this is so cool that he goes out of his way. Because, you know, like, it's okay. Like, you know, people can do the predictions and it's absolutely fine. But what I love is that he puts a lot more context behind the picks as well. So it really helps you to understand what's going on, what the managers may be thinking, what's happening in training, how the team's playing overall, and why that might be influencing certain decisions and whatnot. It's really, really useful for this type of collection, this type of team to know that, especially given the fact that the team is probably going to be changing every week. And so if it was changing every week, it'd be a nightmare if you didn't know the context, right? And these pitch notes that he provides all the time are so appreciated. They really are. So if Atomic is listening, then, like, honestly, respect to you, man. And thank you so much for the work and time you put in to do that. Let's go into the lineup builder, and then let's put our Tigres stack in place here. Okay, Angelo, Carioca, then Gignac, and then where's he gone? Gorian's going to be down here somewhere, isn't he? There he is there, look. Yeah, look. It's a 64 rated type of team. They've only got a 32% chance to beat that opponent. You can see that they are currently 5th, Tigres, but they're going up against a team that are 6th and at home. So this could be quite a difficult game for Tigres, actually. And if it is, that's actually going to be beneficial, I think, for our defender, because we almost want our defenders to have a difficult game so that they're having to defend more. Because if they're defending more, they're going to score more points. And in theory, if they can then keep the clean sheet or stop the opponent from scoring lots of goals, maybe just restrict them to 1 or 2, but then they produce like a masterclass in their AA, and he has the potential to give us that 80, 90 point score. You have to say at the moment, though, his opponent score is not that good because the opponent score is only 40. So on average, defenders in his position have only been scoring 40 against that opponent. So that's not that promising. However, when we look at the form of Angelo and we filter by the ceiling here, Angelo has the potential where he can, and he has in the past, hit like a huge score of 90. And if you look at my other players here, look, Ramirez in the last 15, he doesn't start. Marvin Martins is apparently out. Oh, okay. We need to fix that because he's in our cap 220. Bravo, we know, is out injured as well. And then Pappy has the potential too, but we're not really looking to play him. We might play him, but probably not in a team that really matters. Okay. So I think this all-star team is okay. Obviously, with the stack, we are hoping that the Tigres team do good, and if they do, then we've got a great chance for everyone to then score really well here. If they lose, or if it's kind of like a draw, we might actually, it might fizzle out and do nothing. So, yeah. I think that is the team that we're going to put out. Okay. Let's move it on. Cap 220. So you can see here that we have Marvin Martins, and we've just looked and seen that Marvin Martins is projected to be out on Sorare data. We need to double check that here. Because if the expert has now got him not in the lineup, then we need to take him out. We need to replace him with someone that's going to start. Okay. So, yeah, we can see that Marvin Martins is gone. He's gone. So, that's okay. We have more defenders or more players that we can look at. Let's switch Estrada back to the defender position there. And then it gives us 49 at the moment to find a replacement. And that's a good amount of points to find a replacement with. Cade Cowell, we're taking a little bit of a risk playing him. He done very well in the last game that he started, and he got a score of 76, and he has an L15 of 41. Jordan Clark, we're going to keep in here for 27. Albon Lafont, I think we are going to go with Albon Lafont, who has a home game against Mets. He has a high L15, but he has a good chance to keep a clean sheet, or at least keep the number of goals down while still delivering a pretty good AA score. So who do we look at here for 49 and below? Okay, arguably we could actually put Pappy in here. Jan Gregus we're not playing. And I'd like to play Jan Gregus, but I don't know whether he's actually going to start. When I was looking at RotoWire last night, RotoWire are not predicting him to start. So look, you can see there's no Jan Gregus here. And then the expert as well is not expecting Jan Gregus to start. Yeah, it's definitely a risky one, yeah. It is a risky one. I think it's a risky one on two parts, in the fact that he's not necessarily guaranteed to start. And then even if he does start, we're then expecting him to do something great against that opponent away. And if he doesn't, he's not going to score that good. So you're right. It is a little bit risky. Gregus is in here at 70%. Interesting. I think that Gregus is a starter for Houston, and he does very well, and he's got like a high potential to hit a big score, especially against New York Red Bulls here. I was very tempted to play, and I kind of still technically am. I was very tempted to play Jan Gregus in our MLS specialist team and then play Quinn Sullivan in here at a cost of 40. That would then free up more points for us to play maybe a different forward here. That might actually, it could be the play. Or we could just play Jan Gregus in here and take the risk with Cade Cowell, which, you know, if we don't play Cade Cowell in here, then I don't think we can play him anywhere else, really. And if we were going to take Cade Cowell out, we can't play Whoa, hold on. Hold on a minute. I don't think I like Biaki being in here in the 270. Ah, look. If we played Biaki in here, who has a hard game, by the way, a really hard game. If we played Biaki in here, then we would need to go for a lower cost in goalkeeper. But then that would allow us to play someone like Quinn Sullivan in here. So if we put Edison in here, okay, Edison's not going to be enough. So we couldn't even then play Quinn Sullivan in here. So hold on a minute. Okay, so we would need to play a goalkeeper in here for 45 if we wanted to do this type of team with then Quinn Sullivan in there. Why did we have Purvis Estupinan? Yeah, that's a good shout. Yeah, Dmitrievski's a good shout. We don't have him. I was looking at him and thinking, you know, we could bring him in because he's got that type of fixture where we're not expecting there to be many goals at all. I think you a really good shout, by the way, from you. I think the thing that we need to work out here is that if we don't play Cade Cowell in here, and we do decide to play, for example, Biaki in here, because Biaki at the moment is in a 270 team that is complete throwaway. And I didn't like putting him in there last night. Look. So he's in this team where we have like a DMP goalkeeper. So this needs to be a team of players that we almost just can't fit in anywhere else. So, and I'm not even sure I want to be playing Papi, Montero. This is almost too good for players to be playing in a throwaway team, especially Biaki. So if we don't play Biaki in there, we either have to play him in 240 or we have to play him in 220. And if we go to our 240 team at the moment, I don't know whether we could play him in there. Yeah. So at the moment, we have POV in here. I tell you what, I mean, Piovi's a very good threshold player. He's got a good fixture at home as well. They did just play a final last night, so they've got a bit of time to recover. Oh, okay. If we done Biaki in here, and then if we took him out, we'd only have 42 here. So what I was thinking is that we could maybe put in Adis Jasic in here to have a bit of a stack going on for Biaki, but we can't even do that because Jasic is 46. So I think the threshold team here is probably okay, the way we've got it, with Killian Corridor up front, because we're not playing Corridor in our under-23 team. And then Piovi in here. Hello to Mark Gork. How you doing, man? And then like having that like that. This is not a good fixture for Alanyaspor, but I kind of want to run these three and it fits perfectly into Cap 240. So I think that the 240 is probably fine. And in the 240, in case you don't know, in limited, we're always going to be trying to punch for $8 here. I really am not interested in trying to get $2. Now, there's an argument to say that if you just farm $2 every week, then of course that adds up and that adds up, right? But I'd much prefer to look at my limited threshold as I don't mind if we don't win anything from it. And I'd much prefer just to kind of every now and then just hit the $8 rather than just farm $2 consistently. Some people will just do it the other way though, right? And that's totally cool. I just don't want to be winning $2. I'd much prefer just to win 8 in one go. So we're gonna aim for the mid range, even though I actually don't think this is probably gonna be able to do it, but you never know. Okay, so 240 is fine then, which then means that for the 220, we should put maybe Biaki in here. Then if we put Quinn Sullivan in here, okay, like this here, for 40, because at the moment he's in the MLS specialist, which is fine, but he's probably better here because he's got this low L15. And then we have 45 then for a goalkeeper. And I think that Stoli Dmitrievski is a really good shout because he can keep a clean sheet and probably do very well in his AA too. He's only 43, so we could draft him in. I think we're going to do it. We don't have a goalkeeper that is a 45 or below goalkeeper that realistically I would like to play. We don't want to play Kaminsky. We don't want to play Consigli or Penna. We do want to play Stuver, but not this game week. We want to play him longer term. So yeah, we need to make a switch then. Let's do it. We go into the La Liga Sports Amateur, we do a swap. Okay, and then we probably need to take Penna out. And then let's just also... Yeah, let's switch out, like, say, Gundogan, like that. And then what we do is we bring in Stoli, who has a home game against Cadiz here and could score really well. And then it doesn't really matter who we pick as the next midfielder, because of course we're only really using the draft for the goalkeeper position. We could just, we could go with like Garcia here if we wanted to. Doesn't really matter. Okay, let's do that. Okay, and so then now if we go back into here, we'll find Stoli's in here. There he is there at 43. And if we put Stoli in, then this team works now. And there's actually not a bad Capsu 20 team. There's a temptation for me to put the captaincy on Biaki because he's a very high scorer. Like his high end is so good. But I actually think that we already have him as the captain in one team, in one of my rare teams. I don't remember which one. Is it the All-Star Rare? No, it's not. I think it's the Challenger one. I think we have a Challenger Europe at the moment. Oh, we don't have him as the captain. Fine. I don't think I would want to captain him. I think that's the point. If he can deliver some kind of decisive here, great. But this is a difficult game for them. Sturm Graz, I think, is second. It's an away game for them too. So it's not the type of game that I would expect him to deliver a score of like 80, 90, 100. I'd actually just be grateful if he delivered a score of like 50 or 60 or something. So I think we would captain Estrada here because he's got a home game against a pretty good opponent. And then I think we would confirm that team. What do we reckon, guys? Is that team a team that you think that can hit a reward this weekend? We'll put it in the lineup builder as well to see how it scores. Update my common cards. Okay. So there's Stoli. with a AA rating. And then we've got Estrada here with a AA rating. High percentage for a win for his team. High percentage for a clean sheet. Good opponent score. He scores very good at home as well. He's like a heavy hitter at home. So that's pretty good. And then we've now got Quinn Sullivan in here with a C rating, but I think there's going to be a lot of goals in that game. And then up front, we've now got Biaki, who's probably not going to have a very good rating because it's a very difficult opponent, but it's still Biaki. We need to play him in one of our priority teams. And then we have 29 left, which of course gives us enough for Jordan Clark, who's in really good form. And Jordan Clark, we filter this by the cost. Jordan Clark is down here. There we go, with a D rating because he has a home game against Aston Villa, which on paper is not really that good. His scoring's not been that good either, or opponent score. But we're almost hoping that Jordan Clark could do what he done against Man City. He could do that against Aston Villa. That's actually, look at that. That's actually a higher rating than I thought that team would get. 74 for that team is pretty good, no? What do you reckon, guys? Is he going to win a card or not? I'm going to say I think he can. I'm going to say I think that can win us a card reward. I think even if Jordan Clark doesn't score that great, I'm expecting Biaki to give us a score of around 45, 50 minimum. I think Quinn Sullivan will get involved in the decisive this weekend against Sporting KZ. I think that Stolly can keep a clean sheet against Cadiz there and probably get one of his high-level scores of 70, 80. And then I think Estrada can hit like a really big score too. So probably the one player that won't give us that great score would be Jordan Clark, but then I think everyone else can give us scoring to get us over the line. I think it looks exciting. Yeah, that's what I like about the Cap 220 is that you end up, for me anyway, you end up kind of pinning your hopes on a lot of budget, underdog type players where you're hoping that they can just explode to a massive score and they can do it all together. It's quite satisfying when that happens because often in Cap 220 you can't really do full team stacks because most teams will have an L15 collective score of higher than 220. Of course, there are some exceptions to that. So the 220 like forces you to just try and scout and try and figure out what are going to be the really smart picks in a game week. And it's very rewarding, very satisfying when it comes off. Okay. Cool. I think this is why I'm a little bit, I'm kind of sad that we're going to see the capped modes being scaled back because I really like the 220. You guys know that I win most of my rewards in Cap 220 as well because we know what we're doing. You know, like we know when to play players and when they're going to explode and who's good for certain game weeks and who's not. So it's been a very good competition for us and we're, sad to see it being scaled back rather than being removed. Yeah, it's true, yeah. If Luton get hammered but Clark gets some kind of a last man tackle clearance off the line, then that could be also super significant for us to still get a really good score here. Okay, I have to say I like that team more than what I had it before. So that in itself is improved. I do just quickly want to check with Biaki though. Biaki was in hospital not that long ago, but then last weekend he played. So I think he's okay now, but I want to check it. Yeah, you're right, actually. It is the best competition, but the rewards are shocking. It's almost like you have to put more time and effort in, and it requires the most amount of skill, 220, but then the rewards don't always reflect that. If they had some insane rewards in there, then I think that it would have made Cap 220 probably the competition to be focusing on. And I think then it would have really encouraged managers to be scouting more and to be trying to pick up these like low level, low L15 type players more, to be trading in and trading out of them. Obviously, Sorare don't really want you to do that, which is why they didn't incentivize the 220 the way it probably should have been, right? So I agree with Mark. I think, yeah, the rewards are never really that great in 220. If we look at the prize pool, actually, there's a star for first place, but then it's just tier 1 for second and third. And then after that, it's like tier 2. So you have like a low, like there's just not enough high level cards in there. And this is a weekend game week as well. This isn't even the midweek. In the midweek game weeks, the prize pools are even worse. So yeah, it's almost the fodder farming competition, where like if you're just starting Sorare and you've got like a really cheap budget team, this is probably one of the best competitions to play in, so that you can collect more of these like fodder type tier 5s and tier 4s that will just give you more options going forward and strengthen your gallery with numbers rather than quality. Okay, that's the 220. So what we're going to do now, let's just quickly go and have a little look here. So yeah, there's Biaki. Great, cool. What we're going to do is we are going to go and fix our MLS specialist, because we just took our Quinn Sullivan. What we can now do is we can put Jan Gregus in here. And I think as well, what I might want to do is take the captaincy off Damir Grilak and put that captaincy now on Jan Gregus here. I would like to check that in the lineup builder. Has he been arrested? Yeah. 220, you're right. 220 now, when they do it as the weeklies, 220 should hopefully then get some incredible rewards, because it will be popping up every now and then. And it'll be like, you want to play it because this is your opportunity to win something big, and then before it disappears, right? So in that sense, you're right. Hopefully the 220 will become more appealing, even though you'll be able to play it less, right? In the new format. Good afternoon, FTS ended up with 255 points in rare 240 with the Morales DMP. I know. That Morales DMP hurt me too. That Morales DMP prevented us from winning a card award. So, yeah, I feel your pain. I'm suffering as well. Like, we would have hit a really good card award, I thought, if Morales had started. But yeah, annoying. So unlucky, man. But we're using it now to try and win something this weekend. So if we go into our MLS specialist here, where's it gone? There. If we do suggest a lineup, okay, funny enough, it's telling us to play Quinn Sullivan, but obviously we've just played Quinn Sullivan in 220 now. We take him out. I was going to say it should give us now Jan Gregus here. The tool is telling us to captain Stuver, which is absolute madness, really. Damir Grilak, he's a player that can hit massive, but in order for him to do that, he needs to get involved in a decisive. And then when he does get involved in a decisive, he needs to have like a game, because his AA is so low, he needs to have a game where he then hits like 15, 20 in his AA, which he doesn't like here, which he doesn't do very often. So I think the natural captaincy in our MLS specialist is actually Jan Gregus, because Gregus can hit like scores of 80, 90, even without a decisive. Yeah, cool. You picked up a half stack for Atletico Madrid, hoping there isn't huge rotation for their games this weekend. Good luck to you, Steve Byrne. How much did your half stack for Atletico Madrid cost you? And why did you pick up the half stack as well, rather than a full stack? Like, what's the thinking there for the half stack? Okay. I like this. We were not expecting to put out a team for the MLS specialist, but then on yesterday's stream, we realized that we could actually go and pick up Stuver and Aaron Herrera for like £8 or something. And then that would allow us to put this team out with the newly drafted Messi. And I actually quite like it because we really do have, right, heavy hitters. This is probably going to be the team that we play in the MLS specialist every week for the duration of the next month until it's then removed. Stuver's a heavy hitter. Herrera is, Greidak is, Messi we know is, and Gregus is. So when all these guys come together, this could be a podium-winning team. I don't know whether we can win anything this weekend. I think it depends on whether Greidak gets a decisive, if Herrera away from home does well in his AA, because he's very hot and cold, and then whether Gregus can also give us that monster score. I think Brad Stuver's probably not going to score that well. So that's the only kind of, those are the only kind of question marks on that team. Didn't have the full funds for a full stack. Okay, I'm with you. And you picked up Koke and DePaul to go with Molina that I won a few weeks back. Lovely, man. The lineup's updated for Luton. It's fucked. Oh, don't say that, Jordan. Let's have a little look. Okay. Yeah, so Hashioka actually makes sense, to be honest with you. Doughty, Burke, Still, Ogben, Clark, Barkley. Okay. Thank you for that, though. Thank you for updating it. Unfortunately, there are cards of Hashioka, but there are no Luton Town cards of Hashioka because he's a new signing. And we're just basically running our collection. Yeah, cool. Thank you for updating it, man. So, we don't need to change it. I think we're happy with that. What we do need to do quickly, we've done our All-Star, we've done our 220 now. Our 240, I think, is good to go. Our 270 needs to be a throwaway team along with the Challenger Europe. In fact, there shouldn't be any more limited teams that we want to enter. No, there is not. So the Challenger is just a throwaway team to try and squeeze as many points as we can out of the game week. I don't know whether we play Stefan Skirbo there. Yeah, I think we can play. I think we can play Jasic in here instead, like that. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, this is a point. I don't think I want to play Robin Malone in this competition because we've already got him in a rare competition. So I think we're going to put Mateo Maric in there instead. And this is just a competition to try and squeeze as many rare coins out of the game week as we can. Yeah, I think that's okay now. Let's do that. Free Tip Scout, would you rather line up Ogben or Ayu in my shoes? Ogben. Ogben, yeah. Confirm that team. Okay, that's the throwaway Challenger Europe team. And then our 270 also needs to be throwaway. Okay, so we're going to put in some random goalie in here. We've got, yeah, the two boys now of Gaziantep, of Papi and Monteiro. And then up front can be now Cade Cowell. That makes a lot more sense to have Cade Cowell in a throwaway team. And then here could just be like Brahim Elman. Yeah, here could be Elman, for example. And then we can captain Elman. Confirm. Okay. Good. Right. Our limited teams are done. We don't have any more limited teams to do. So just a quick recap on our limited teams here. This is our Premier League in season. This is our main team for the Premier League in season, which we're going to be hoping can win us some cash, some good amount of cash for the weekend. This is the B team, which is a complete throwaway team, really. We're not expecting this team to deliver any kind of reward. We're just putting it out because in the Premier League in season, you can do multiple entries, so why not? And the same for this one here. This is really throwaway. We have DMPs, injuries galore in this one. So this one will probably not even score any points at all. Okay, then in All-Star, we're running with a pure Tigre stack, which I think can do really well. It's a difficult game for them, but if they can come out on top, then this could be a pretty decent team for us to maybe get a reward from. 220 we've now done, and I like this team a lot. So I'm going to be watching this team really closely this weekend to see whether it can deliver us a card reward. That'd be really cool if it can. And then 240 is largely a stack of Alanyaspor, but then we've got Corridor up front, who we're not using in under 23. We might as well throw him in here. Then we have POV, who is like the classic type of midfielder for Threshold, with the potential for high upside if he has a good fixture, and he does have a good fixture at home. So we'll give him the captaincy, and we'll see what he can do for us here. 270 is complete throwaway. So again, this is just farming for Sorare coins here. And then the Challenger Europe is also throwaway. It's throwaway because we just have a DMP goalkeeper. So again, just farming for as many Sorare coins as we can. And then our last limited, well, that's not true. We have one more limited team here, the MLS Specialist, which we've now fixed, and we've got Gregis in there, which I think is a really good team, actually. But then the last limited team is the under 23. Now, the under 23, we might have a problem with the under 23 because I remember a few of you guys saying in the chat earlier that Fruk is maybe out. And if Fruk is out, then we don't have an option in midfield. However, what I can do for the sake of the under 23 team is that we have other under 23 players, right, that are not part of the team, but I would be prepared to, say, play Ryan Gilles in here to avoid us having a DNP player in here, because we've got, if you don't know, we have Tony Fruk and we have Nico Jankovic. And I think both of those two, Jankovic is certainly out injured. And if you're telling us now that Tony Fruk's out injured, then I need to loan basically the under 23 team, the community under 23 team. I need to loan a player to them for this weekend so that then our hopes of winning a card are not dead and buried. Okay, I'm off for now. FCS, thank you for the stream. Hope to join again. Please do let us know, tonight what you get. And thank you so much for jumping in. RSK Returns. Good to see you back again. Hello to Manjit as well. You guys are saying that Fruk's out with a suspension. Yeah. Oh my God, there's even an ad for that? Oh, that's a bit disappointing. The weird thing about Sorare is that I often can't wait for the weekend to be over because I'm already hyped about the next game week. Yeah, so Fruk is suspended and Jankovic is injured. So guys, I'm going to loan you an under 23 player for the under 23 team. I think you guys can either have Stefan Skirbo, Ryan Gilles. You could have this guy too, but I wouldn't recommend it because he's not really starting or playing enough. Yeah, I think it's really between Ryan Gilles or Stefan Skirbo. Which player do you want us to put in? Skirbo or Gilles? Yeah, I think Gilles is the one, isn't it? That would be the one that I would want to pick as well. So if we put Gilles in there, and then you guys voted on the captaincy on Lang, which we're going to keep because I think that's really smart. Let's double check everything here. So Smolcic is expected to start. Let's check Majkic and Kosnu. Gilles is going to start already, I know that. And then Lang should start too. Austrian Bundesliga. Let's open that one up. And then let's also open up the Bundesliga. Okay, was it gone? Here we go. So there's the Lang. Here's Kosanu. And then the last one we really need to just double check here is Majkic, who we're not expecting to be out. He's the number one. You reckon Odlon will put up a big score this game week? I hope so for the under-23 team. There's Majkic there. All right, let's confirm that. So, guys, this is your under-23 team now for the weekend. I've loaned you guys Ryan Gilles so that the team doesn't suffer from a DMP. And hopefully, this team can hit a good score to give us a card reward, because if it does, we're then going to give that card reward away to one of you guys in the community. Okay, let's take a very quick 5-minute break before we go through the rare teams. So we'll be back in 5 minutes, guys. All right, guys, we're back again. So we have just over, well, we've got 35 minutes. 35 minutes until the game week starts on Sorare. If you're just tuning in, this is the under-23 team for the community. So this is the team that's playing for you. And I think it's pretty good. So we just had to make a little change there where we put Ryan Gilles in, who's not really part of the under-23 team. But I've basically I've loaned the player so that we don't have a DMP because our two other midfielders are both missing out this game week. So we've done a lot of our limited teams. In fact, we've done all of them. I'm going to run through some of the rare teams now that I'm hoping can really deliver for us this weekend. The first one is the Champion America Rare. I'm happy with this. I don't want to change this team. Quito did play last night. They have a bit of time to recover, and I think that they will still want to play their first team for the first game of the season. So we're going to be going with Dominguez in goal, then paired up with Quintero. I don't know whether I want to give Quintero the captaincy here. That's the only thing I need to work out. But we are going to be playing him. And then with POV as the midfielder. So we've kind of got this Quito stat going on. Then we've got up front Carlos Garces, who has a home game against a really weak opponent. And he's in quite good form as well. And then Michael Hoyos, the legend, comes in here. And hopefully Michael Hoyos can hit like a monster score, which we know he's very capable of doing. Hoyos is a midfielder card, but he actually is a forward. So he scores very much like a forward, but every now and then his AA gets really good. And then if you combine that with a like an attacking return, he is capable of giving you scores of 80, 90, 100. Do we want to captain Quintero? I was looking at Quintero, how he does at home. He's very, very good at home. So this is his scoring at home over the last year. He's got an AA of 16. He's averaging 55.5 and he's hit 9 scores out of the past 18 games that he's played. So 50% of his games have been scores of 60 points or more. And then in his all-time, if we filter this down to the starts that he's had as well, that's actually how he scores in the starts that he has at home. It's pretty good, no? So again, he's played 44. We started in 44 games, right, at home. And this is for all teams here, but it's for Quito. He's got 5 goals and 5 assists in 44 starts. And he has scored 60 points or more in 21 of those games. Which is, you know, pretty much, it's not exactly, but it's about 48%, isn't it? He's got a very, very good record at home. So this, and when you look through it, look, there's very few games where he doesn't score that good at home, which is one of the reasons why, given that he's got a game where they are expected to win, they're expected to keep a clean sheet as well, we almost want to be probably captaining a player that is already going to get 10 points added onto his AA. And then if he can deliver a really good AA performance, like even this here, like 20, that then gets added on to 10 points as well for the clean sheet, then we'll have a player here that can hit a big score. And of course, then if he can add a decisive as well, that's how he's able to look. A score like this here, 2-0, or a score like that, like a 1-0, and then he ends up contributing towards that goal, he's going to be hitting 90s and 80s. So that's why we have him as the captain at the moment. I was kind of debating putting the captaincy on Carlos Garces as well. Carlos Garces has a really good game, and technically an easy game on paper. He's in very good form. But with Carlos Garces, he doesn't have the same high-end scoring as a Quintero. So, like Garces is very good at scoring 60, 70. Every now and then he'll hit like an 80. And he'll probably score in that range just as regularly as Quintero. But Quintero has the higher ceiling. Look, there's Garces there. 75% chance for the team to win. 48% chance for there to be 3 goals or more scored. And they're 5th, and they're going up against a team that are 18th, that are really, really bad at the moment. But when you look at kind of Garces, look, he has in his last 15, he has a ceiling of 83. If we look at Quintero's ceiling is 99.44. So he has actually generated a score of 99.44 in his last 15 home games, right? And then in the last 40, that has been the highest score that he's delivered to. And his decisive scoring average is also pretty good. Like 39 for a defender in the last 40 is high. Like some forwards can't even deliver that, So he gets involved enough in attacking returns that I think we will probably keep it on him. But there's a big temptation for me looking at the fixture for Garces and looking at the form that he's in, right? There is also a temptation where, because look, this is his last 3. I'm thinking that he could do something like that as well. I'm going to be annoyed if we captain Quintero and Quintero just like delivers a score like 40 or something, and then Garces then hits like 83 or like 90 or 100. That's going to be painful. But I think we're gonna go with what we've got and just hope that Quintero can deliver that really good score that we know he can do. Then we have Hoyos here. This is a strong team. I've mentioned it before. I think this team has the potential to win Champ America. What's gone on with Champ America? Are the new MLS cards now in the prize pool? They are. Look, they are. So look, we have a chance here to win a Messi or a Cucho Hernandez or a Amel Pellegrino. How much has Pellegrino been going for? Because his auctions should have ended by now. Oh my God. Can you imagine if we won a Pellegrino with that team that we have here? Oh God, that would be mental. Pellegrino sold at auction for £288. Now, it was his number 1 card, wasn't it? Yeah. So I'm pretty sure his next cards are going to be lower. But even if we won a Pellegrino like this game week, we could potentially sell him for a couple of £100, I reckon. Pellegrino would be the worst star of the MLS players, actually the worst star in there. Why do you say that? Let's have a look here. I'll be honest with you. I think I would prefer to take a Pellegrino over a Patrick Schulte, even if Schulte's a goalkeeper. They're actually very good stars, though. I mean, I think there's not one player here that I would be disappointed in winning. They're very good. Yeah. Schulte is more expensive. Yeah, you're right, because he's a goalkeeper. He's younger as well. He's a lot younger. Like, he's an under 23 goalkeeper, which is part of the reason why he's very expensive too. I think the thing is, though, with Pellegrino is that Pellegrino has the potential to give you scores that can give you more podium positions than Patrick Schulte can, right? So Pellegrino, I don't think will be able to hit 100s as often in the MLS, right? And I don't think he'll be able to maintain that level of scoring. But I'd probably be more interested in winning a Pellegrino because I think he can hit the scores of 190, just not as often. But those scores are going to give you podium winning places. They're going to win you a competition. Schulter's good, but Schulter as a goalkeeper doesn't have the same level of scoring, right? So I think a lot of it also comes down to like what you are planning on doing with the players that you win. For me personally, I would prefer to win a Pellegrino over a Schulter. But if I won the Schulter, for sure, I'd be quite happy with it. I just don't think that I'd keep him. I'd probably end up selling him. Yeah. He's got good value, though. Thank you also to Tim Tweep for the follow. Welcome into the channel. Yeah, so it's good anyways that they've added in now the new MLS players, which is really good. Yeah. Because I think even this morning, the new MLS cards were not in the Champion America prize pool. And everyone was basically saying, what's going on? You know, like, why are they not there? Why are Sorare not communicating on this at all? You know, we've been here before on them with that, but they've eventually done it, which is good. That's the main thing. They're in there. So, yeah, our Champion America is going to be this one here. And we hope that it can actually win us a really, really good card reward this weekend. Then what we've got in our All-Star Rare. Our All-Star Rare is a little bit of an interesting one because I don't think that Hervey Kofi is going to score that good. But we have to play him somewhere. And so we might as well play him in here. It's a mainly Universidad Católica stack. Zampedri didn't start last weekend. He's been suffering with a little bit of an injury. I'm going to give him the captaincy because I'm at the point with this team where it either does amazing or it either just completely crashes, right? And so if Kofi does really bad, then it's fine because we're taking a risk anyway with Zampedri as the captain. And Zampedri might not even start. So it could be that Tapia starts too. But in this type of team, when I play the full stack or as full a stack as I can with these players, I'm always going to be captaining, I think, Zampedri, because it's Zampedri. He's the best player for the team. Yeah, I know, with Quito, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. So there's like, there's definitely question marks about Pinares and Tapia and Zampedri. So this is why I put this team together with Kofi, because I don't mind if this team doesn't do good, because we're already expecting Kofi not to do good. What I almost don't want to do is I don't want to put like a really good goalkeeper alongside this team when we are going to play this stack because we have it. And then we have loads of DMPs and whatnot, right? So if this team does great, it's going to be amazing. If this team doesn't do good, then it's honestly not a problem because we know heading into this that we are playing players that are a little bit risky, right? So it's okay. So we'll see what happens with this team. I don't think it's that easy a fixture for them either. So yeah, as I say, we'll either do really good or it'll either just be awful and just burn really quickly. So that's the all-star team. The Cap 240 rare team, where we're going to be trying to hit the lowest points here of 270 for the $15. This is our Cap 240 team. We are running a Konyaspor defensive stack. Then Monteiro in midfield as the captain. Victor Edvardsen up front, who we don't tend to play in Cap 240, but he does have quite a good fixture at home. And he's got a really low L15 that enables us to play him in here. And then we're going to play Molon as well. Now, we technically have a load of points left over. I think that if I had different players here. Like, for example, if Kadri was available, and I don't think he is available, I checked it last night, he didn't appear available. But if Kadri was available to play, then I'd probably play Kadri in this team because he's got a good home game. But as far as I know, he came off injured in the last game, and I think he's expected to be injured in this one. Yeah, he will, yeah. That's the thing. Hervey Kofi's probably going to ship a few goals. Well, Kadri's at 70%. Okay. Kadri went off feeling dizzy, but he trained this week, so if he feels better again, he gets to start for sure. Yeah, I mean, we could play him, but I mean, technically we couldn't. We could only really play him if we took Monteiro out because Kadri's 52. So, yeah, in that sense, I probably want to play him, but not in a team that's like our main priority, with him being a little bit of a doubt. His L15's too high, and I like the scoring that we're getting from Monteiro at the moment, which is why he's in. And then Molon, when you look at the other players that we've got here, we're using them. Like Zapa's out for the season. Kadri's almost too high for us to be using in this type of team. The only way I think that we could get around, playing Kadri in here, even if we wanted to, is if we put Peter Musa in here for 35. And then, we can't even do it there. Look, we're one short. I thought that's the only way we could have realistically done it and kept the team strong. But we can't even afford to do that because we fall 1 point short. So, yeah, that's fine. We have Kadri in a different team, which is probably not as high priority. But I also think that Molon, with a home game against NEC, can do okay. And we've got a high amount of extra bonus on him as well. Look, 11%. I think if we were not using the likes of Zampedri or Carlos Garces in the other teams, then we'd probably end up playing like Garces here. But yeah, Victor Edvardsen I think is fine here. Yeah. They are pretty good, but they're a little bit shaky away from home. Yeah. And they were shipping a lot of goals all season. I think recently they've been a little bit better, but they were very, very poor defensively for most of this season. So maybe they're going to have but maybe they slip back to an old habit that they've had this season where they play away from home and they just ship loads of goals. Probably not because it's Volendam, but what I'm basically saying here is that Molon is more than good enough to play in 240, and he has the potential to get a decisive. He has the potential where he could even do good in his AA. Because we've got 11% on him, that is going to be, that boost alone, even if he got a score of like 35, 40, that boost alone would just help us to get over the line for 270. So this team, I fully expect to hit the threshold of 270. And I'll be really gutted if this team does not hit it, because in theory, this team should have no problem doing it, really. And I've probably just jinxed it. But this team is more than capable of hitting 270. So that's the threshold team. Okay. Are you ready for this now? Are you ready for this? Would you like to see the Cap 220 team? Because something special is going to happen in the Cap 220 team this weekend. Don't have all your eggs in one basket. Are you ready? Because I think I don't have to do this, Ray. I don't have to take this risk. So me picking this player means that potentially we could have a DMP, or we could have a player that starts from the bench. But I really like the sounds that are coming out of the Dallas camp. So we are going to unleash the Moose this weekend. We are going to unleash him hard in Cap 220. Home game against Montreal. He is going to be our captain if he does actually start, because all his visas and documentations and stuff are fine. They said that if he's fit to play, then he will likely play. And the sounds of it are that he's fit to play. In fact, he is fit to play. So I'm fully expecting Musa to make his debut this weekend. Musa could potentially absolutely smash it here. He could do something incredible. So we're going to back him to hit like a couple of goals or something. Now, of course, there's no guarantee that he starts, right? So this team could just collapse really quickly if our captain doesn't end up playing. So it's a bit of a gamble, but I think it's a gamble that I definitely want to take, especially given the fact that his L15 is so low at 35, and the fact that it's also the fact that he's got a home game. So we're doing it. We are absolutely doing it. Now, there's a couple of things I'm not 100% on. I definitely want to play Patrick Zubcic in here. I think we do want to play Damir Grylak in here with the home game against Charlotte. Again, Damir Grylak is that type of heavy hitter on his day. And it's a good fixture for him as well. We're a little bit short of other midfielders other than the one, like, so the ones that we're using already, they're great. But of course, towards the bottom end now, we're kind of running out of options. So I think Damir Grylak is fine here. I'm not overly comfortable with Bokat because his fixture's really horrible. But Bokat is the type of player that can explode to like 100 out of nothing. And his AA can be very, very good. And Farrell done very well last night, but I don't know whether he's actually going to continue to start. And so we might need to make a switch there. Because it's one thing him playing in the midweek. But look, you can see here. So Kessler made his return last night, and it was a bit weird because if we just bring it up really quickly, the formation that they played is what they usually play from the looks of it, but they kind of played. It looked like they played Farrell as a right back, and he's not really a right back. So look, this game here, look. They kind of played Farrell as a right back. Now, in the past, it used to be a partnership between Kessler and Farrell in the middle. Dave Romney they signed, and Dave Romney pretty much partners Henry Kessler now when Kessler's fit. So Kessler returned last night, but they still played Farrell. And I don't think they're going to be doing that again. I'd be very surprised if they're going to be playing Farrell as a right back here, because he's not that type of player. I did put Tapia in a lineup, yeah. That's okay, though. I'm happy for him if he's on the bench. It doesn't really matter. We want to play the stack. All the waiting for MLS new season cards, and there are no Thiago Almeida cards, is there not? Just submitted my first serious team before I play with a compound of players who are €5 together. What's your serious team then, Tim Treep? I'm just going to call you Tim, actually. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing the second part of your name correctly, but Tim, what is the lineup of serious players that you've got now? Yeah, look. So Farrell's at 50%. And I actually agree with that. And this has been a worry for me all week as to whether Farrell is going to continue to play this weekend. And I was not sure he was going to. So, because he's at 50%, because I was already thinking this is a bit risky to play Farrell, I think that is the one change I want to make in 220 here. We are going to keep Bocat in as the defender. What we could actually do, if we can afford to do it, is we'll probably play somebody like Pappy in here, or Stefan Garteman. Let's put Bocat there, and then we have 58. Okay, so we have a lot. We can basically choose whoever here. Anto Grigic was suspended, and I think he's still out, isn't he, Anto Grigic? I don't know whether I would play Anto Grigic even if he was available. The thing with Anto Grigic, he got a straight red card. The thing with him is that he does very well, but he's also not guaranteed to start. His game is against Luzerne as well. Does anyone actually know whether Anto Grigic is back? Because again, I don't know off the top of my head whether a straight red card results in a 2-game ban in Switzerland or just a 1-game ban. And this is the type of team that we can't really check either on Play Sharper, so we'd have to do some digging. And obviously, we're a little bit short of time now to be doing some digging on that one. So there's not going to be a projection here. So if anyone knows in the chat, that'd be really useful. We'd probably assume that he's going to be out still, and even if he is fit and available to play, it would be risky whether he's actually going to start. Probably not. I'd tell you what we could do, though. We could put Kadri in here, couldn't we? We've got Kadri in 270. I mean, technically, we don't need to play Kadri in here because that is risky in itself. Like, we could take a safer option where we could put Pappy in, but, you know, to be honest with you, I don't really want to put Pappy in here. He's got an away game. He's going up against Adam Buxar. I think that Gaziantep could concede a few goals here. Stefan Garteman, I think if Garteman was performing better, we could play Garteman. There's technically nothing wrong with us playing Garteman here. Then I think if I can play Kadri, I would like to play Kadri. So maybe I play Kadri now in 220 because we're already taking a little bit of a risk anyway with Musa. But his fixture's really decent, you know? Like, this is probably one of the fixtures that we would want to try and go hard on with Kadri. Okay, it's gone a bit skewed here, isn't it? The data. I don't know what's going on there, but a lot of our players here have like L5s and L15s to 0. Which is obviously not correct. Yeah, I mean, Garteman away from home doesn't do that good at the moment. Or we're going to do it. We're kind of running out of time. So we are going to do it. We're going to take Kadri out of 270. We're going to put him in here. So we have a potentially really big, heavy-hitting Cap 220 rare team. Scuds TV says the referee who gave the red card provides as precise a description as possible in his report. The day after the Super League round, the report goes to the disciplinary judge based on the description, and after viewing the TV images, the penalties imposed. None the wiser having researched the Swiss red card rule. Yeah, thank you though. Appreciate that. I think we just assume that he's going to be out. Let's just say that he's going to be out for 2 games, and if he isn't, and if he plays, fine. We'll have him in our 270 probably, I think. But yeah, let's bring Kadri in here. And then let's confirm this team with the Moose as the captain. This really has the potential to do very well, this team, you know? I like this. I think this is a little bit better. I wasn't really sure. Basically, I want to use Kadri as much as I can because it's Kadri. He's incredible. But I almost just wrote him off that we were going to be able to use him because I assumed that he was still injured. But if he's at 70%, I'm happy to take the risk with him at 70%, especially given the fixture. So that's that. Okay, that's our 220. Then we need to fix our 270. But before we fix it, I'll show you the Challenger. So this is what we've got in Challenger. I think it's pretty difficult because we're going with Eli Room and Arcus. So the Vitesse boys here at home against 20 is really difficult. This is good for the Rijeka boys, right? And then we've got Biaki, who's got a little bit of a difficult game too. So I'm not really expecting anything from this game, from this lineup, sorry. But I want to run these stacks as much as I can. And we need to play Eli Room anyway. He's the only other kind of goalkeeper that we've got. So, yeah, not holding out on that team. And then our other team is 270, which is like a throwaway. And so, we're missing a midfielder here now, but we can put in Anto Grigic, right? Yeah, we could put Anto Grigic in here, like that. This is real throwaway. There we go. That's okay. Do it. Don't mind if our kickoff is shitty because our kickoff is shitty. We've only got one super rare and it's just a load of leftover type players. So let's put him in there. Okay. And then our only other team that we've got in rare, which is again a very throwaway. So this is almost like the last priority team, is this one here. All-Star Rare Plus, where we've really run out of midfielders. The fact that we're having to play Pedro Santos in here. Confirmed, is it 2-match for Grigic? Oh, lovely, man. Thank you so much for that, guys. Thank you for finding out for me. It's actually good that we put him in a throwaway team now. But yeah, you can see here as well, we're completely run out of midfielders now. So, yeah, playing Pedro Santos in here is not great, but it's okay. In fact, to be honest with you, we probably need to switch Santos in here. We do need to do that. We need to put Grigic in here. Now that Grigic is not going to be playing. Like that. Okay, and then we need to go back into 270. And then now here, because the 270, we rank higher than the All-Star Rare Plus, right? Now what we need to do is we need to play Pedro Santos in there. Like that. Okay. And then all our academy teams are entered. So guys, don't forget, you've got about 3 minutes to enter your academy teams in. That's all our teams, right? We've just about done it in the nick of time. So how good is that? So you can see all of our teams here. All-Star Rare with the mainly Universidad Católica stack. Champion America with mainly the Quito stack there. Cap 240, I think, is a really good balance to the team. We're trying to hit the low end of 270, which it should be able to do. Premier League in season. This is our main A team to try and win some good cash from the in-season competition. Challenger Europe, as I mentioned, not really expecting anything from that, but we're going to captain Salahi, who has the potential to hit a really big score in that fixture that could help us to something there. 240, it's a mix between mainly the Alanyaspor guys, and then we've also got Piovi as the captain. We're running with a Tigre stack in All-Star, which I think is pretty solid. And then, yeah, kind of Cap 220 I thought was really good for limited. In fact, I think our Cap 220 limited and Cap 220 rare teams are really exciting. I think they're probably the two teams that I'll be following the most this weekend, especially the rare one with Peter Musa as the captain. Under 23, we had to make a last minute change to bring in Ryan Gilles so that team doesn't suffer from a DMP. MLS Specialist looks really solid. Challenger Europe is a punty throwaway, 270s throwaway. And then these ones down here are all throwaway too. So pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. And I'm feeling confident this weekend. How are you guys feeling about the weekend? How are you feeling? What is the competition that you're going hardest in, guys, this weekend? And what are your aims this weekend in Sorare? What are you aiming to try and win? And in 1 minute as well, we will start to put our lineups together for the next game week, which will be the midweek game week, in literally 5 seconds. Look. So we couldn't have timed that whole lineup building stream any better. We've just about done it. Perfect. So the game week started, guys. The game week is live. So good luck to everyone in the game week this weekend. And please do keep me posted on how you do. Game week 457 for the in-season is ready to enter. So we'll do that straight away with Kaminsky, with Oso in here, with Doughty, then Morris, and then Ogben. The usuals here. Okay. And then we can start lineup building for game week 456. So we'll have a little look now as to whether we can actually put any teams out for the midweek or not, especially in rare. I don't think we can. Ooh, we can. Wow, we can. We've got a lot of options here. We'll probably be able to put out a team, a 4-man team to try and hit the threshold of $15. And then with the players that we've got here, we'll probably be able to put out a Cap 220 rare team as well. Ligma says he's not optimistic. Last minute DMP for my rare keeper. Mood killer, to be honest with you. Oh, no, this was for the midweek, you mean, right? Steve Burns hoping for a reward in Cap 220 rare. And he also thinks that both his All-Star and Champ America are very strong. What is your Champ America team, if you don't mind me asking? I'd love to know what my competition is in Champ America. And then the league in Prem, I have here, this is from Bodgy. He has 3 good lineups. His best is Pickford, Romero, Rodri, Watkins, Douglas Luiz. I can't say that that's a good team because you've got you've got a couple of players there against Luton. So I can't back that one, but it actually on paper looks good. It sounds good. Yeah. I just hope that it doesn't do good for my own selfish reasons because I need my Luton Town team to do good. Stephen's going with Stuva, Angelo, Nagby, Tyler Boyd, and Carranza. Love it. Is Carranza fit to play? Because I was looking at him on Sorare Data, and he kind of had this this icon to say that he maybe had a knock or something. Is he fine? Hopefully he is, right? Because the game week started now. I love Carranza. I think he's so good. That's a good team overall. I think it's a little bit tricky for you though as well, isn't it, Steve Byrne? Because Stuva is away, and then when we're talking about Angelo, we're talking about Jesus Angelo or Tigres. Because if we are, that's a little bit of a tricky game for him too. But of course, we've still got him in our own lineup, and we captained him. Tyler Boyd's okay, and Nagby's okay. Cool. I hope it works for you. Right. Do we have a team that we can do for Cap 220 rare? As in, do we have a limited goalkeeper? I don't think we do. Oh, of course we do, yeah. We've got Guzman. Okay, so maybe what we need to do, is we need to... He was at 70% to play. Okay, good. Fingers crossed for you, man, Steven. Hello to Nasty Flame as well. So we've got one starting goalkeeper, which is Guzman. This is going to be interesting. Okay, we have Zampedri and Tapia. Then we've also got Maxi as well that we could play. We've got Branco and Pereiro. And then, of course, we're then going to have Pinares too. So technically what we could do is we could do a team. I don't know whether we'd be able to afford it under this cap, though. No, we won't. Look, I was thinking that we could maybe do like a full Católica stack, but we can't afford it because their caps are too high. So we'd have to break it up. We could probably do that in cap 240 with a DNP goalkeeper, but I don't think I want to commit my best players into 240 with a DNP, if I'm honest with you. Who's our midfielder? Okay, we've got Pereira as well. So we would play Pereira in here, actually. And then defensively, Morales, if he was to start in the next game, then he could be a good option for 46. Same for Farrell. So Farrell at 44. It's largely the team that we tried to do in the midweek, isn't it? That did actually work, apart from Morales DMP'd on us. And if he hadn't, then we would have won something. So why don't we do Farrell there for now? Then that gives us 76 for a forward and an extra. For sure, I think I would want to play Zampedri here. And that only gives us 24. Damn. Wow. Zampedri's almost he's too expensive for us to play in here. We'd have to do like a Tapia or a Maxi in here, or maybe both, actually. Technically, we could do both. So it would have to be almost like Tapia. And then we've got 35, which then means we have to play Maxi in here. And this is our lowest costing defender too, that is actually playing at the moment. And the same here for Pereira. Wow. This is a tricky one. So this is why I'm even more disappointed from our midweek, because our midweek was like perfect because we were able to put a really strong team together under the cap that had good fixtures for the players and a really good shot at winning a card reward. And we would have done it this time round for this midweek. We've got a lot of the same players, but we don't have as good of fixtures, and it's not as balanced, this team, because we're having to play someone like a Tapia and then probably Maxi now in here, which is not really ideal. But that's what we can do. And then we'd probably give the captaincy to Pereira there. Like that. Which means then for Cap 240, rare, to try and hit the threshold with a DMP goalkeeper, we would then go with probably the stack of Amperero, Pinares here, Zampedri, or look, but then we've got 20, but we would have to take out this goalkeeper. And then we can almost put in whoever here. So we could then put, say, Morales in here. We could put Brent Kalman in here, although I don't think we want to against Inter Miami. So we'd probably just play like Morales here. And then we just play a goalkeeper that doesn't have a game, like Yildirim, for example. And then we probably captain Zampedri like that. And try and hit the threshold with 4 players in rare like that. It's not bad. It would have been better if we could have played Zampedri in the 220 team though, but he's just too high in his L15. Hello to Arthur. Good afternoon, he says. Missed the deadline, or kind of missed the deadline. How did he miss it? What can we put out in limited as well? We can probably put out another team like this maybe to have a punt at the threshold. Let's confirm that for now. But then in the 220, so one of the reasons why I drafted in Andre Blake was so that we could use him in the midweek, but we actually don't need to because we've got Edison. And so Edison we can play. He's cheaper. He's got a home game against Copenhagen. But if needs be, we could play Blake too if he's back from injury. But for now, we could do Edison there. The midweek is poor for me, sadly. Maybe a couple of cap limited teams, but only 2 players in rare. That's okay though, really. Even if you can just put out 1 team, it's all right, isn't it? I've only just recently been able to start putting out more teams in rare because I just picked up a load of cheapies that, like guys like Farrell and Bolly, Frank Bolly, and also Maurizio Pereira as well. So it's just given us a little bit more utility now and choice to do the midweek in rare. But you can see as well that we were kind of, realistically, we've only really got 1 proper team in rare in Cap 220. Do you reckon Morales is back for this midweek? I don't know. I honestly don't know, Volts. I was surprised that he even missed the game. So apparently it's like muscle discomfort or muscle overload, I thought they were calling it. So I don't know whether they would just give him a rest for 1 game and then think, okay, give his muscles time to recover. I don't know the severity of the muscle overload. That's something I'm going to have to research myself this weekend, and I'd advise you to do the same. What are our options here in the Cap 220? Okay, Gignac, Cade Cowell has a horrible game. We'd probably end up doing Gignac in here. We've got Aylman, Gregus we've got. We've got a lot of options for the midfield, actually. Ryan Gilles is in there as well. Quinn Sullivan again. Probably do Jan Gregus if we could. And then we've only got 78, which means that we need to find like a real low-cost defender option. Like the reason I'm not picking Carl Smith is because this is a card that we would give away, that I want to give away. I mean, technically it would be Morales, but then we've only got 32, which is not great. That would give us 36, and then that allows us to play Quininos in here. Oh, 220 is going to be a struggle this week, I think. Like, that is not great, and I'm going to have to think about that a little bit more this weekend. But that's about as good as we can do right now. And then, yeah, 270 will just be a throwaway team of some kind for the moment. Let's do that. Okay. All right. We have so many tabs up here. Let's close a few of these down. Something that I forgot to do earlier on Ultimate Champions, which I'm going to do now. We've got pretty much every player up for sale, but the new player that we got, Dylan Levitt, we don't have for sale. So let's put him up and let's become the floor. Let's do that. Cool. Yeah, so now everyone I've got on Ultimate Champions is up for sale again. Wow. There's only 34 Pooky balls, apparently. Is there less than that now? That's 34. Let's dive over to here for a little bit. Free Tick Scale, I kind of already stopped playing Rivals for now. Every time I want a box, there's only tickets in it. No incentive for me to put time into it. Yeah, I agree. I do agree, man. I don't blame you either. I don't really understand what Sorare are trying to do with Rivals at the moment. And you guys know that I'm really frustrated with it. Because I think they're making a lot of very basic errors and mistakes that they shouldn't be making. But yeah, I'm also not playing it either. I'm just collecting my tickets. I think I've got 80. Yeah, I've got 84 now. Funny enough, the Zidane challenge, not the Zidane challenge, sorry, the MLS Lovers challenge that you guys all mentioned, I'm still not seeing that on the desktop. So if you was only playing Sorare on desktop, right? I don't even see it on my mobile unless I use, well, I think unless I use the app. I'm not really using the app. I'm still on my mobile just using a web browser because for me, it kind of feels like the same anyway. But if you were just using still the web browser on your mobile to access Sorare, or if you were just playing Sorare on the computer, you wouldn't have a clue about this this MLS Lovers challenge that they've just released. So stuff like that is just, it sounds like a small thing that we're nitpicking, but even stuff like that, I don't understand why it's not advertised here, It's just another way for them to try and improve the game. But yeah, I feel like we almost spend too much time talking about Rivals, and we don't even spend that much time talking about Rivals. So as and when this gets better, I think we'll start spending more time on it, but I'm just not prepared to spend time on this at all. I don't even have any requests. Look, that's how maybe the people that follow me know that I don't play it. So they maybe think it's pointless in even sending me a request, right? But Friday Night Football, Bayern are playing, PSG are playing, Milan are playing, right? No one's even sent me a request, right? Which is actually making me think that I think people are just not interested in playing this anymore. Or if they are, they can't see the point in challenging people. So I don't know. It's I don't think it's going that good, to be honest with you. Hey, Free Tick Scout, I'm back from the barber. What have I missed? Not much really, because we literally just finished doing our lineups, right? So we were just then doing our lineups for the next game week, and we've got a couple of lineups, and we were just talking about your favorite game mode, Rivals, just for a little bit. But actually, kind of what we wanted to do. What is it? Yeah, we wanted to go over to Pooky now. They should put the Rivals boxes, something like 200 EP car boost or something. I don't even need a whole level. Yeah. Because that's the thing, Scuds, isn't it? Like, I really want to play it. I really want to play Rivals, okay? But I'll be honest with you as well, I don't find the game mode fun enough for me to just want to play it all the time. Like, so I don't feel like it's a game mode that I can't wait to play it. You know, I play a lot of games, right? I've played a lot of games in my whole life. And I've played games, you know, like Web 2 games where you don't even get rewards, right? But you just play the game because it's just super addictive and super fun, right? And this is the thing that we've seen in the chat, is that people saying that all people are complaining about is that they just want more rewards and more rewards and more rewards, right? No. You know, like, I will play a game mode if there are no rewards whatsoever, but the game mode is just super fun that I can't put it down. Rivals is not like that. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think Rivals is ever going to be like that. Unless it was fundamentally completely different from the format that they have it. For me personally, I just don't think it's that type of game that you would play on a mobile all the time. And I don't think it's got that kind of hook that keeps you coming back to play it. And the people that have been coming back and playing it regularly are now starting to get fed up and frustrated with it, as Bocci said in the chat, because it's almost like you're putting in the time, you're putting in the effort, you're spending arena tickets, you're sending out challenges, you know, for friendlies, and all of it at the moment seems very pointless because you're either not getting anything back from it, or you're just getting more arena tickets to just go and spend and do the same thing again. So that's why I'm hoarding my tickets, because I look at this game mode at the moment and think, if I am going to play this game mode and I'm going to spend these arena tickets, then I want to spend it knowing that it's going to contribute towards a ranking, for example, that will then guarantee that I get something out of it, rather than spending arena tickets, which will then just really give me more arena tickets to then go and play to win more arena tickets, to then go and win more arena tickets. You know? And it's just a shame, because obviously I love Sorare and I love playing the pro, and I kind of would like to love this too, but the game's not giving me enough reasons to love it, right? And I do enjoy hearing from people that say that they love playing this game mode, because I don't want to hate on it. I really don't. If you love playing it, if you're just enjoying it, then honestly, it's amazing. I'm happy to hear that. But I do think as well that there is a growing number of managers now that have given this a chance, were really positive at the start. And rather than their positivity remaining at that level and the positivity increasing and increasing, at the moment, the way it feels is that the game's almost just become stale, because the improvements are not coming quick enough. There's not enough really to win in here. It can feel like you're just throwing away tickets for tickets, and just not enough carrot on the stick, right? And I said yesterday that I would reach out to Sorare and I would ask them what's going on, and I did do that. I dropped them a message in the feedback group, and I was it wasn't like a hounding message or anything like that. It was a genuine exploratory message of just checking in, kind of, I'd love to know. And I think lots of the guys in the community would love to know where you guys are at with the improvements on Rivals, because we heard about 2 months ago that there's lots of improvements coming to Rivals, and they're very aware of what they need to do on Rivals. And then we've kind of not had or heard anything since, really. It's just gone very, very quiet. So I haven't heard anything from them in the feedback group so far. But if I do hear anything, and it's some kind of a news around when the improvements are coming to Rivals, and I'll let you know. But Yeah, it's just a very frustrating game mode at the moment. Hey, Quinta. Hey, Quinta, how you doing, man? Thank you so much for the raid. Massively appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you for bringing the party. Guys, do go and give Quinta a bit of a follow if you can. I'll drop his details in the chat now, if my Stream Deck will allow me to, which is not. It always does that. I need to fix that. But yeah, Quinta, you can find him in there. Let me just do a quick shout out for him. Yeah, I definitely need to fix that. It's kind of winding me up that I can't just do it in one click of a button. There you go. Go and check him out. There is his there's his Twitch channel in the chat. So do go and check him out. He does some streams as well on Sorare. It's really fun. It's a good vibe in there. It is I think it is Spanish speaking. So if you speak Spanish, then you'll be able to understand everything. If you don't, it's a good place for you to maybe learn some Spanish. But you can also you don't need to know, like what they're saying necessarily. You can also follow just from watching on the stream, like on the screen, what's happening, right? Free Tip Scout, you couldn't resist and opened a pack on UC. What was in it? Yeah, we went for it. I couldn't hold off anymore. I'm like a kid, I can only save up so much, and then eventually the excitement takes over and I just want to go and open my present. And that's what we done. And so we ended up getting, we spent around $37 worth of MGC, and we ended up winning a Dylan Levitt, who's worth about $7, $8, $9. Where's he gone? This one here. I am happy though in a way because he's an under 23 player. I was saying that can we try and get an under 23 player, which would be great, and we did. So that's the positive from it. But yeah, we didn't really get like a heavy hitter like this type of player from the pack. We got kind of a player that was actually towards the bottom of the the athletes list where it tells you the performance index rating. He was like fourth from bottom, so it kind of felt like a loss. It wasn't an under 23 underdog pack. It was the UC International one. It was the one that cost 3,700. This one here, look. So for $37.49 equivalent, we kind of came off on the wrong end of that, winning a $10 kind of player. But at the end of the day, it's also an under 23 player. So if we don't end up selling him, we can keep him, and then he can maybe go on to some bigger and better things in the future. Yeah, it was this pack here. Let's go over to Pooky because that's what I was planning on doing. We can't make any more changes to our predictions because we don't have any more energy. We technically could buy some energy if we wanted to, but it's not a problem. But the thing that I always say is that this is probably not the best way to increase your energy. The better way to do it is to just buy a Pokeball, because then when you buy a Pokeball, you will get extra energy. Okay, so the Pokeball is a good value because you get the extra energy, and then you also get a ball that can help you to predict in different leagues, right? Whereas here, you're paying a lot more just for the energy than you are if you get the energy almost bundled together with the Pokeball. So if we wanted to get an extra 4 here, it's going to be $15, right? Whereas actually, look, if we wanted to get an extra 6 here, because with a common Pokeball, you get about 6 extra energy. I think it's like 6 or 7, actually. I think it's 7, just shy of 7. So if we wanted to get 7 energy alone, it's going to cost us 25.69 Matic. But if you go to the marketplace here and you look at the cost of the common Pokeball is 25 Matic alone, right? So you might as well buy a common Pokeball and then you get the extra 6 energy with that Pokeball anyway. Whereas, here, this is why it's really expensive, you're paying the same for a Pokeball, but you're not getting the Pokeball, but you're still getting the same level of energy. So if you do need extra energy, guys, this is not the way to do it. This is not the smart way to do it. The smart way to do it is to simply buy a Pokeball, and you'll then get energy bundled in with that Pokeball. So you get the energy plus the ball. I do, even though we can't change anything, I do want to check to see whether the points that we could be getting have changed significantly. Okay, this one's down. It's down. Like, I'm looking for a green arrow here. Like that, but that hasn't changed significantly, so we're kind of fine. And the reason we do this, if you don't know, is that you're just trying to maximize the return, like the number of points that you can possibly win from a game week. So it's just finding smart ways to try and squeeze out more points from your predictions. Okay. So at the moment, we are maximizing the total amount of points that we can get from our predictions in the German league. If we go into the USA league here, I'm saving up. I'm strong enough, but I'll do a Discord stream then when I open it for the stream here. Oh, I love it. Yeah, that'd be cool, man. So red arrow again. Ooh, that one hurts. Look. So we could be getting an extra 10 points here. That's a lot. That is a lot. Ouch. An extra 2 there. An extra 4 there. An extra 6 there. Oh my God. Extra 1 there. Yeah, an extra 1 there. So it's not too bad. There are probably 2 or 3 that would be worth us updating the prediction for. But as I say, unfortunately, we don't have enough energy to do it. This one in particular, for the extra 10, that one would have been good to update for now. But I mean, at the end of the day, if we still get this 3-2, getting 571 will be amazing. Okay. I'm going to open up some free tip scout fund coupons for a little bit. And then we're going to almost have a bit of a chilled. I've done a lot of talking. I don't want to be talking as much, actually. I want you guys to kind of keep the convo going. Okay, so I've opened up the coupons. So feel free to use them if you've been waiting for them. Guys, don't forget, you can buy a Pokeball still. There's 34, so if you want to get involved and start winning money from predicting on football games, but you don't want to risk your money, and you don't want to be going up against a bookie, then this is a good game to play. All you need to do is own at least one of these Pokeballs, and you can then play this game where you will then be able to win money. And the ROI on this game is absolutely stupid. It's so good that if you're not playing it, you're probably going to regret it because eventually that ROI will get decreased. You know, they'll make some changes in the game that won't make it as easy to win a ton of money for very little effort. And then you'll be thinking, oh, I should have really got involved when everyone was kind of basically farming money and also having fun, because it's a really fun game. There's a lot of strategy to it as well. Has anybody not bought a Pokeball yet, but is weighing up whether they get one? Or maybe there's somebody here in the chat that doesn't know which Pokeball to go for, because that's often a common question we have, that someone wants to get started in this game, but they don't know whether they should get a common or a rare or an epic. They don't know what's the right starting point for them. You're close to Ascension, Twitch Gaming and Arthur. How close are you guys to doing the Ascension? I'm actually close myself. It's funny you guys say that, because I was looking at my Pokeballs yesterday, and look, this one is 2 levels away from being maxed out, and then this one is 5. So I think we probably will ascend these 2 to create the epic. And hopefully we can do that like before the end of the season. I mean, I'd like to be able to do it within like a couple of months or so. And then once we do that, we can then maybe think about trying to ascend these 2. I think FBL Thinker asked Pooky. Oh. Fettel, thank you so much for the sub. Welcome into the channel, man. FBL Thinker asked a question to Pooky when they was in the chat a few weeks back, and he kind of said, are there any plans to do something with your entire collection of Pokeballs, right? And they kind of responded back to him in the chat to say that it is something that they're looking to do, because what you'll often find is that you won't use all of your Pokeballs, so you'll buy them, and then as you collect more and more, there'll only be like a few Pokeballs that you'll tend to use a lot. And then if you, like for example, let's say that I didn't want to use this one, but I wanted to use this one, right? Well, this one's not technically going to help me to win as much as this one. And so the way it is at the moment is that you're not really encouraged, or there's not really enough of a system in place that you can utilize all of your Pokeballs to make predictions with. You know, like on Sorare. Imagine on Sorare that you only had a couple of teams, okay? Or you had a few teams, but if you just used the same 2 teams, then you were more guaranteed to win, like, rewards, okay? And then if you tried to use a different team, you would be at most likely a significant disadvantage from using them, because they wouldn't actually be able to give you the same level of returns. It's a little bit like that at the moment. But the way that kind of Sorare get around that is they have lots of different competitions with different entry requirements, and like different cards are better for different competitions. Whereas in Pooky, they don't really have that. So, for example, if they had a competition where the requirement was that you had to use a Pokeball that was less than level 20 or less than level 30, almost like an underdog, you know, or a cap 220 style format where the level requirements are there, then I would start using these balls more. And then I would know that there would be other players out there that would be playing with the same kind of level of Pokeball. So then I wouldn't be at a disadvantage, right? Where then my Pokeball would be going up against a maxed out Pokeball, because you'd have to have a Pokeball less than an X amount of level to compete in that type of league. So I don't know whether that's something they're looking at, but yeah, I'm not using any of these here. And technically I would like to use them, but if I start using them, as I say, I'm going to be worse off from using them because I won't be able to get the same level of points as, of course, a level 55 or a level 58. If Pooky did introduce a competition or maybe like a game mode where they started to add requirements around the level of Pokeball that you needed to have in order to enter predictions in it, do you think it would be a good thing or a bad thing for the game? So maybe they had like a game mode where certain certain leagues you have to have like a Pokeball that's like less than 20, one has to be less than 30, etc., etc. Do you think that sort of thing would encourage you to use your Pokeballs more? And do you think it would be a good system in the game? Do you think we could see restrictions on Pookie, like you are allowed to only have 3-3-1, for example, in a league? I think so, yeah. I think so. That'd almost be the equivalent of like a stacking penalty, right? That's basically what it is, isn't it? It's like a stacking penalty, as you would have on, say, Ultimate Champions, where you're doing the same, you're picking from the same, team, picking the same type of players, right? Or players from the same team, you get a stacking penalty. Could be a situation where if you pick X amount of the same score, then you actually get some kind of a stacking penalty. Yeah, I think we could see that. I think, to be honest with you, that's probably the only way well, there's a couple of ways. There's that way that could almost discourage you from then just doing the same score for every game, right? Which is kind of what we do. And it's not really how you should be playing the game, but we found that is a very smart and almost secret way to success in the game, right? But they could either do something like that, or they could do it where you get like that bonus. You get an additional bonus to your overall game week score based off the number of exact scores that you get. So in your example, you're saying that maybe you get like less points, or there's a kind of like a deduction if you, or not that, but you can only use 3 of that type of score, right? The alternative is that if you use the same score more than 3 times, then you're then going to get some kind of a stacking penalty, which will reduce the amount of points you get from your predictions for the game week. And then the third approach would be that if you achieve 3 exact scores in a game week, then you're going to get an additional 5% boost to your total overall score. Or maybe if you do 4 or 5 or 6, then it kind of tiers up, right? So that system in itself would also probably encourage me to try and put the exact scores in. But because there isn't that kind of incentive, there is, but there isn't, right? There's already an incentive to do it with the predictions, but then there's also not that incentive to try and get as many exact scores as you can, because it will give you a boost to your scoring. And there's also not like a penalty for putting the same score in. And so if there's not a penalty, but there's also not there's not a penalty for doing the same scores, but there's also not an incentive, an added incentive for trying to get more of the exact scores, then that's pretty much the situation we find ourselves in, isn't it? Where we are always doing the same score across all the games, which, you know, is fine, but I think that it would be more interesting and probably in the interests of the game as well that managers or predictors try to be encouraged and incentivized to do as good a predictions as they can. Yeah, I think you're right though, Twitch Gaming. I think we could see something like that. Yeah, where either they say you can't place more than X amount of the same score, or if you do, you get a stacking penalty, which is then going to give you minus points from the game week if that happens, or they basically say, based on the number of exact match scores that you get an additional multiplier boost to your scoring. I wouldn't mind either of those. I got to be honest with you. I really wouldn't. I'd probably prefer if they try to incentivize with an extra boost to your scoring by getting as many exact scores as you can, because that really should be the thing that everyone's trying to get, right? The trifecta of all the predictions, but because, you know, there's not really that big an incentive to do it. What does the rest of the chat think? I mean, I'm hearing from Twitch Gaming, but I really want to hear from everybody else as well about that. What does the rest of the chat think around those kind of ideas that we just talked about? Do you think it would be good for the game? Would you welcome them to the game? Would you not like it if that sort of thing came into the game on Pooky? Well, I think the silence from the chat tells me that it's probably time to end the stream. Would have been really good to have a bit of a discussion about that, because I think it's actually a good topic for us to have a talking point on. But yeah, there's not really, I don't know whether you guys are zoned in or zoned out anymore. So why don't we call it a day? And yeah, I'll let you guys do whatever you're doing. And then we'll be back again on Sunday. What game should we do a watch along for on Sunday? Ideally, I want to do one in the Premier League. Doesn't have to be though, but I think if Luton are playing on Sunday, then we could do that if they're being televised. Oh yeah, it's the derby, isn't it? Man City, Man United. Okay, we're definitely doing that. We're doing a watch along for Man City, Man United. Defo. All right. The chat's really dead, so let's call it a day. Guys, thank you so much for your time on today's stream. Have a great weekend, and I'll catch you on Sunday for the Man City, Man United derby. Thanks, guys. See you then.